hot button.
I want a time to pass where I can just draw a square on a white canvas again and be like, Remember, like, everybody be like, how is this art?
All right, now look for our hot button T-shirt of just a square.
But buttons are round
It's just
usually.
Mario in Japanese.
John Cage is the name of the composer that did 433.
Okay.
John Cage?
John
Yeah,
Cage.
he retired after
Didn't he
Goro broke his sunglasses.
I thought he made Detroit Become Human.
Yeah. That's his brother David.
All right. So with that being said, welcome to Hot Button. I'm Randall Beatrice here with Chris Anantuano
We're in my house.
and Austin Blakesley.
E3.
We are, yeah. And this is going to be our E3 2019 episode. There is no script. I am coming up with this right now
We don't
off the
usually
top
have a
of my
script.
head.
We're just that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those listening, everything that has ever been said on this podcast was 100% from our brains.
But yeah, I am sitting on the floor of your living room.
Yeah.
And
I
I still-
offered you a chair. You denied
No,
it.
I did. Like I said, this is how I talk about games. I feel like I'm more comfortable than. Well, now Austin looks more relaxed.
He
You guys
does.
are hunched.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, you guys are hunched over.
I was
before.
like, I
cool
want to
guys.
lean back, but I don't feel like moving my microphone.
But no, we just thought it would be a good idea to kind of run through all the conferences that happened over the last couple days. We're actually recording this the night before it
Yes.
goes up, so
Yeah,
Well, heads up
more
for you.
relaxed, more
Yeah.
relaxed kind of
This
scenario.
is being
yeah.
recorded on a Thursday, and you will be listening to it on
is.
Friday. There's going to be a lot of edit work involved. If the audio quality ain't great, blame Jason. That's our philosophy
And,
here at Hot Button.
But Austin compiled a list of all of the announcements and games that were shown at each one of these.
I didn't compile a list for
If
the
you guys
PC
want to
game
rewatch any
show.
trailers or anything, I have my TV here.
Yeah.
We can watch.
That's good.
Over 600
I feel
companies
like,
urging Trump to end China tariffs. If you guys want to watch that,
all your
Why
suggested videos.
why is
by
it
the-
recommending you Fox Business?
it always recommends like
That's
in
all right.
top news.
I've been
stories
watching
like
a lot of
MSNBC.
I've been watching a lot of Giant Bomb content because they have those live
Yeah.
shows,
Yeah.
which are great, by the way. Go check them out. They'll probably
They're
come
going
up,
on right now.
Yeah, they'll probably
wonder
come
who's
up
on.
tonight a couple times. But I've been getting like a lot of Trump ads before the videos.
You mentioned that.
Did you see this birthday thing?
yeah,
Trump birthday card thing?
I don't know
I
what
saw
the
it
fuck
today
you
for the
guys are
first
talking
time.
about.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that after this.
Okay. That was a weird fucking ad.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's like an opportunity to troll him or if it's like
They're like,
serious.
it's Trump's birthday. You know what you could get him for his birthday? The wall. And I was like,
What?
what?
It's just a
You sure
bunch
it's
of-
not for like a guerrilla marketing for a
no,
sketch
we'll
comedy
talk
show?
about it.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I think this is a pretty good way to kind of compile all this information together into one thing, rather than. So maybe we could save you like 6 hours or however long all this stuff would be if you just.
Yeah, because we're only going
When
to
I
talk about
watched
the
it.
non-garbage.
All right. Well, this podcast is going to be about like 5 minutes ish.
But this is starting with actually last Thursday.
Yeah.
Was Google's press conference about Stadia, about their games streaming service. And this is followed up all the way until Tuesday this week, which was Nintendo's. They were the last ones. They're usually the last ones before the show floor opens.
I'll run through it point by point, and we'll talk about what we want to talk about for
Yeah.
each one of these. Okay.
Totally.
So yeah, Stadia's conference kicks off with the usual corporate bullshit, where they're just like,
Were there any charts?
we're gonna
I watched it.
oh,
I
there
don't
were
know.
so many charts.
Yeah, they like
we're gonna
charts.
revolutionize the way you play video games, and then
I like the previous Stadia conference where the guy came out and he's like, I don't really play video games.
Yeah.
And that was like their opener.
yeah. That was like
But
the
I heard there's money
the
to be made
CEO
here.
of Google.
Yeah,
He's
so
like, I
what
don't like video
qualifies me?
games, but I hear you guys spend your money stupidly. So like, we doing this or what?
Remember when you guys thought we were just a friendly corporation that made a search engine? No, we were always interested in world
I
domination.
never thought that.
We'll get to that because it starts off with an announcement. Well, it starts off with corporate bullshit, then an announcement for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, that was the first game that they
Yes,
showed.
which-
It's exclusive, but it is that and PC. That's
Yes.
Oh, cool.
it's a
An
PC game.
outdated.
Baldur's Gate
It's,
3.
it's
game.
made by the Divinity Original Sin team.
Oh.
So
It has a very American Werewolf in London like trailer
yeah,
of
there's
a guy like
throwing up a lot of blood.
and morphing into a.
Well, Divinity is just already better Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I'd
So-
rather see Divinity Original Sin
Right.
3.
A lot of promises about how powerful the game's going to be. How
then
good it's
we
gonna
get
look.
into the connection speed requirements,
Which is the thing that will make or break this
Yes.
entire.
So apparently, for
besides
those of
the
you out
games.
there that don't know, we'll go over it. But I think the average American connection speed is lower than a lot of these. But 35 megabits per second gets you 4K 60 frames per second, 5.1 surround sound with HDR.
Okay. I don't have a 4K TV, but
20 megabits per second gets you that same thing with 1080p instead of 4K. And 10 megabits per second, which is like Netflix's like HD requirement,
really,
is 720p 60 frames stereo audio.
right. I mean, did you want to say the whole thing about the people who have been like saying that, hey, like if you want to play through, like they showed Assassin's Creed Unity on that thing at the first.
Is this
So, yeah.
download or upload? Would that be?
It'd be both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it megabits that's way lower than regular?
It would be mostly download. The upload would just be for your controller
Traditionally,
inputs.
upload seat is less.
Yeah.
Okay, these are the averages though. Isn't 35 really slow? Like really low?
No, that's what they need. 35's
yeah.
not that low. You keep in mind the device you're on needs to have 35 megabits per second.
And there's other people
Meaning
probably,
if
presumably in your home
if somebody
using the
else in
internet.
your home is also using Netflix to watch HD content, you need a
Gotcha.
connection that can handle both of those at the same time.
And we also
Gotcha.
live on a coastline where
How
that's
does it
even
differ?
available.
Like if I download something, you know what I mean? Like is that count? I guess it doesn't matter. But if I download something, it averages like 150 megabits per second. Like that's our average download speed here.
There you go.
So we could get Google games and stream.
Theoretically,
like crazy.
yeah. I mean,
that's if nobody else is doing.
But here's the thing, though. Like, so the first thing they showed was Assassin's Creed Unity at that first reveal for this
Assassin's Creed
thing.
Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Sorry. And
that was 6
Origins?
Assassin's Creeds ago.
Odyssey.
how long would you say that game is?
Longer than 65 hours, which apparently
Odyssey.
65
Talk to
hours
Jason.
was.
He played the shit out
Yeah.
of
65 hours of 4K streaming on a Stadia connection
was said to use
is a terabyte of data.
it. Time
And
out.
most places-
So what's up with the throttling though? Like, don't like providers throttle people?
Oh,
if you
God,
use
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Comcast and Verizon would have something to say if you were trying to play Odyssey in 4K for 65 plus hours.
Yes.
Well, fuck
and
it, I'll
also,
just buy a disc and play it in 4K for 100 hours, and nobody will ever say anything.
That's
to
the
me.
problem, ain't it?
there's a lot of people out there that don't have connections that can handle that. Mainly, like Randy said, the middle of the country is struggling in that regard.
Well, we forgot about them with everything else, so.
And there are a lot of people that have data caps. A lot of people with Comcast. We are lucky enough that we have Comcast, and we don't have a data cap. Most people's data cap is a terabyte or sometimes less
A month?
Yeah.
a month.
That's insane.
It's so
Yeah.
low.
The amount that me, Dom, and Melanie use Wi-Fi
Oh,
here
God.
in this house.
I
would-
looked.
Oh, look at my house. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I looked
exactly.
it up
Yours.
once, and I cleared like 3 terabytes in like a slow month. So
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure we got multiple consoles. We got a streamer in the other room.
I just re-downloaded Fallout 76 to play the stupid Battle Royale mode. It's downloading right now. That's like 61 gigs. I think I would have done that if I had a data cap.
Well, that
Hell
is
no.
the funny thing that
I just downloaded
like if
both
you
Star Wars Battlefront so I could uninstall them 2 hours later. That's like 100 gigs.
yeah, imagine if you were streaming and still downloading and playing other games. But they showed all the devices that this would be coming to. And
Yeah, so you need
Wii U.
Chromecast to do it on a TV.
Probably, right?
You need a Chromecast to do it on a TV. If you're doing 4K, you need Chromecast Ultra, which is the 4K version of the Chromecast.
right.
Android phones, nothing for iOS yet. Android tablets, nothing for iPads yet, or whatever other tablet you poor people are using. And then anything with a Chrome browser.
Yeah. So your
So,
laptop. And,
Laptops, desktops.
yeah.
And at that point,
like that.
right, your graphics cards and stuff wouldn't matter because you're
Nope.
streaming, right?
Yeah.
It's
so insane.
it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same
Still the
as
concept.
It's pretty bonkers.
That is the concept that I like. Really fucking drives me bonkers.
Well, that's the
It
thing.
is
If the infrastructure was there, this is a fucking.
yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
this would
all the-
change
You're
games,
just a
yeah.
screen, right?
Yeah.
All the pressure.
It's the same as watching
Some
Netflix with
server
the
rack
exception
somewhere.
of you have to send inputs back to the server. That's the only difference.
How the time it has to be whatever because how the lag time. Like,
So that's the funny thing is like they showed a montage of some games available for this thing, and it included like Mortal
Thumper?
Kombat and Thumper, which is
Yeah.
a very
both
precise
very-
music rhythm like game. Yeah.
any
Like-
fighting game,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And they said you can use any controller, mouse and keyboard, whatever. I mean, Austin, I'm sure we'll get into like the packages for this thing
Yes.
because the controller actually,
So-
their controller has some different.
Let's move on.
Features.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint is going to be out before Stadia is out.
Yeah,
I don't have it written down here. Stadia comes out in November, which I don't think they
it doesn't have a specific date.
It doesn't have a specific date,
Just
but
says November.
will get to it. But I bought this Founders Pack like a dumbass, like the dumbass that I am. Remember earlier on in an episode of Hot Button, if you're a frequent listener, I bought a Genesis Mini in one of our cold opens, canceled that, bought the Stadia Founders Pack
Nice.
instead.
You fucked up. You can't stream Altered Beast, dude.
I probably can. They'll probably put the Sega game collection on here. But yeah, so Ghost Recon Breakpoint is coming out before the Stadia, but
Well,
it will
a lot
be
of the
out-
stuff they showed
It will be
is.
on
It's-
Stadia at
yeah.
launch. Borderlands was also shown.
Division
Division 2. We have a new game called Guilt
with a Y.
with a Y.
And no-
from
yeah.
Tequila Works, who made God.
They made Vampire with the
They
Y.
made a
No,
zombie.
no,
they, made
that
a
was
zombie-
Delnod. Yeah.
I know.
they made a zombie game that has Dead in the name. I want to
Oh,
say it's Deadlight.
Deadlight. Yeah.
But there's like we already
We
went
did
over
this,
this
yeah.
before. It's not Dying Light. It's Dead
Dead
Light.
by
Dead
Daylight.
Rising Light.
Um,
That game looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
It has a Studio Leica
yeah,
kind of
it
look
looks
to
kind of
it.
like Coraline.
Yeah.
If it was a horror game instead
It's
of a
neat.
horror movie.
Yeah. People are calling it My First Silent Hill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Then they showed off a 4-player packing moving game
I
where
don't
you're
know,
movers and you're moving people out of a house.
It's another people trying to capitalize on the Overcooked. kind
Yeah,
of,
it looks like Overcooked. It looks wacky. I don't know, whatever. Division 2, Destiny 2 will be included with a Stadia subscription.
a game that's also going free to play.
Yeah, but you get all the expansions when they
Oh,
come out without having to pay anything, which is neat.
Sure, that makes sense.
And your
That game
character.
were any good.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
back into it again.
Okay, so subscription plans. So there are 2. There is Stadia Pro, which they said has a library of games that you can access, kind of like Game Pass, but they announced 1, and it's Destiny 2, and people don't know
They
if it's
didn't.
gonna.
If it's crossplay with the other PC
Yeah,
games,
people don't
or
know if it's
console,
gonna
or
have
what.
100 games like Game Pass, or if it's gonna be like Xbox Live Gold, where you get like a game a month.
They blasted out some like logos that had Rockstar and
Yeah, I don't
Capcom
know.
and all that stuff, but like who knows what?
I'm sure GTA 5 will be on this thing, but
Sure, sell it
but the whole
more
sell-
copies.
the whole selling point of this thing was like, oh, well, if you play a multiplayer game, there's no real latency between your client and the server because your client is the server. But like, if they're gonna put Division or Destiny or Ghost Recon Breakpoint on here,
What does that mean?
does everybody have to own it on Stadia in order to play it co-op or play multiplayer? Like,
That would make or break that platform.
Yeah,
What
because
if they're
like,
playing? Yeah, exactly.
sure, it's low latency, but if
Sorry, dude, I got
if
the
I have to
Stadia
convince
version.
4 of my friends or 3 of my friends to buy Ghost Recon Breakpoint on Stadia
at
instead
that
of
to,
point-
Steam,
to
like,
subscribe to this experimental
Yeah.
service.
And at that point, you'd be, they'd be going through their own network, going into Stadia, going into yours, like so there'd be just as much latency
Yeah.
as anything else.
yeah.
So grow up.
And
Google
then
just wants everybody.
Tell them about the Austin edition.
hold on.
Make
So
a
I'm gonna
drone
skip that
army
real
out of
quick.
Okay.
We can talk about how much of a dumbass I am in a little bit. But the other subscription is you just need an account. It's free. It's called Stadia Base. And basically that's like you have an account and then like a Steam account you are then able
You buy
to buy
games
games.
a la carte, right? Yeah, and you stream games after you buy.
And you can only stream them in 1080p.
Oh, really? Okay.
4K is only included in the paid one.
The paid one's $10 a month.
Obviously.
which is, that's a good
Yeah,
price.
$10 a month, not bad. If they
bought
put
this Founders Edition, you paid this much.
All things considered, it's
I know,
not.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
listen, I got money to burn on stupid stuff. Don't worry about it. Then you have the Stadia Founders Edition, the Austin is an Idiot Edition. It comes with a Chromecast Ultra.
Which is like $40 by itself. Right?
Yeah.
$50.
It comes with the controller, which is $69. Nice.
It looks like
And
an
it
okay
comes with
controller.
a limited edition midnight blue controller that you idiots will never get.
Just like
So
my
when
day one version
when
of the
Stadia
Xbox.
blows up and everybody is playing Stadia and I have a special controller, you can't complain about it because I was a dumbass.
I kind of like the white and orange.
Ugh, I
controller.
hate it's got vertical, no, horizontal analogs. I'm out.
It looks a little bit like an Ouya controller,
It looks
but
like
I assume that Google has the money to like.
it looks like they were giving birth to an Xbox controller and they like pushed on its soft baby head a little too hard.
Apparently the R&D that goes into like designing the modern PlayStation Xbox controllers, what they are is like there's a lot being put into what makes those controllers feel so good.
That 100% makes sense, but I
yeah.
can tell you, I
Feels
like
like it feels like a
staggered
dream.
analogs. I do not like analogs here. I don't like.
Oh,
that.
no,
like,
yeah, I'm the same way.
horizontal.
Yeah.
like out like a PlayStation controller. Sorry,
Yeah.
I know
I'm an Xbox
So
controller
we should
guy.
say
I like the staggered analog.
I like the
GameCube
Wii. I like the
controller.
Wii U Pro controller where the analog sticks were both up here and then the buttons were down. That was great.
Oh, and also this controller has a very specific feature that
Yeah, so we should say you can use whatever controller you want.
Yeah.
If you are playing on Chrome or on your
in
phone,
that case, I'll use the Steam Box controller.
you can Bluetooth whatever controller you want to whatever device you want, or USB whatever controller you want to whatever device you want, and play that way. But the Stadia controller has a Wi-Fi chip in it, so you don't actually connect the controller to the device you're playing on. You connect it right to your router, and then it goes right to the server. So apparently using that controller gets you lower latency.
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. I guess that
ca-
input
yeah.
lag is now. But see,
I get why it costs a little bit more than a standard Xbox One or PS4 controller. It's still cheaper than a Switch Pro controller or the Joy-Cons.
It's true. You get a 3-month subscription to the Stadia Pro service,
Yeah.
and you get a 3-month buddy pass to
Dibs.
give to a friend.
Damn it!
And best of all, you get to secure your name early.
Yeah. So you can be big Hitler fan 420.
Wait, does that mean I, using the Buddy Pass, get
No,
the...
dude.
Wait,
You
why
gotta
don't-
spend $130.
I assume I have to make an account,
which
too.
is the price, by the way. 130. Yeah, but you get to make an account after it comes out. I get to make my account
Early?
before it comes out.
Oh.
Yeah, because I paid buku bucks to secure that name that I have never had to fight for on any
Yeah,
service
I've
ever.
never had to fight for mine either.
And that's it.
That's Google.
For the Stadia conference. It's
Still a lot of questions, but
yeah, it
promising.
could be
I don't know.
cool. Who knows?
But that's just a preamble because the real E3 shit kicked off on...
Okay.
I noticed EA is not
Side
on
note,
here.
EA is not in my outline.
Yeah.
And the reason EA is not in my outline is because they went over 5 games, 4 of which
Are out.
are out.
Yeah.
So it was Jedi Fallen Order, which we'll get to because it was also
It was
from
on Microsoft. That's their only new. Yeah.
They showed Apex next, new character coming out, whatever.
yeah.
People
They
are still
New
playing
season.
that.
No.
Yeah. They showed FIFA, which I'm not European,
We don't-
so
yeah.
whatever. They sorry if we have any European listeners. Soccer's great. I
There's-
just,
We have some.
I like sports where people hit each other.
Yeah. That wasn't there,
I'm
was
a
it?
brute. No, because Madden was next.
Oh yeah.
And then the last one was Sims 4 is apparently still a thing.
That's
so,
crazy. That's still
Yeah.
And they didn't
What
have
are
a,
they doing?
They didn't have a conference either, so it was just this all-day streaming event.
Yeah, they were busy tanking more third-party developers they bought.
All right.
But anyway, Sunday
Let's get into
The real
Microsoft. We're going to try and blow through this a little bit because
they did a lot.
a lot. My outline is we're still on
should've
page
worked
one.
I know.
for
It's
Well,
like
we
9
got caught up on
pages,
Stadia because of how many more questions there
True,
still is
true.
about it.
but- Okay.
We should have. We should word for word redo the Xbox conference.
The Xbox conference was my conference of the show because Microsoft is the
How's
only
it-
company left, at least last year, this year, sorry, that is leaned into the pageantry of something like E3.
Mm-hmm.
Like they showed the most stuff. They had very wacky stage presence with a lot
Did
of.
you consider that Squares had bigger boobs?
No, dude, Tifa's boobs aren't as big anymore.
No, they're not.
yeah.
But they're
Oh, is
still,
that why I saw our
Why they're-
RIP Tifa's boobs
Yeah.
meme?
Why everybody on
I didn't know
They're
what that was
4chan
about.
they're
is so
still
angry
bigger
than
than
what they
Master Chief's boobs. So, and the girl from Gears of War's boobs.
Wait, Master Chief is a lady? I thought that was Samus.
No, Samus is.
Oh
a
my
guy.
god, they're the
Those
same
boobs-
character.
Those boobs are still plenty big, but I don't know.
Come on, Metroid's a guy.
Zelda's
a guy.
Yeah.
All right. So We start off Microsoft with Outer Worlds.
Okay, I was gonna say, why don't we just kind of... Okay, yeah, all right, we can say fuck that and move on if we don't like something, right?
Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
don't
gonna talk
care
about
about Outer Worlds.
Really?
I could care less. If it's
think it looks
even
kinda
got
cool.
like a drip of the Fallout engine's code in it, throw it in the fucking trash can.
Obsidian has
Just
a pretty
that-
good track record of making games with narratives that, and not only that, but like, I understand how like the presence of that game is maybe kind of vibing a little close to like Borderlands and BioShock sort of aesthetic, Fallout sort of artistic look, but everybody who's played that game so far has
Fallout
loved it.
has a specific
and-
sci-fi. The whole retro futuristic like 50s
Sure.
thing is kind of specific. I just mean Outer Worlds in general. If I don't like action games based on that engine, so
It seems to be more of a shooter.
does seem to be like. Well, I just meant shooters. Like, I don't know. Am I the one who thought Fallout played like clunky garbage?
Yeah,
No,
but that's
you're not the
no,
only
you're
one.
not.
Yeah,
but that's not why people come to Fallout.
No.
like I
Fair,
don't
fair.
really know.
Well, I got that narrative experience.
Does Outer Worlds play? That's not using that engine?
It's not,
Yeah.
but
Okay, well then cool. All right, I'm already.
people wanted a new Fallout New Vegas. Bethesda wouldn't make it, so Obsidian's making it by themselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems promising, and it's also coming to Game Pass for.
Yeah, and Microsoft
yeah.
now owns Obsidian, so it's included in Game Pass.
Well,
Yeah,
that's fine with me.
damn it.
Then no complaints. I'll play
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause it's free.
I don't know
That's
how
what I said when we were
multiplayer
watching
is.
it. I was like, I fucking would never buy this game, but I got Game Pass till 2021
I'm
now.
surprised
Thank
you guys
you,
are hard on this.
Microsoft.
Like this game is so far.
I
has
want
had
to
a
play.
lot
I want to
to-
play Outer Worlds. I'm
Well,
not
he likes
huge.
it. What do you got?
I'm not a huge Fallout fan though.
Yeah, me either.
No, I'm not. I'm not like. It feels weird that I'm defending like
No.
Fallout. It's
Yeah, why do you like it so much?
No, I don't. It's just more of a like. I don't know. I think that
think it's a
having
big
more of an
game.
action focus on it, and with
Yeah.
the tone that they're going for, speaks a little
I
more.
will say,
to me.
however, that Vegas was the best Fallout game.
Yeah,
Sure,
By
and they
leaps-
and,
by
and
leaps
like I
and
said, they've
bounds.
always had a thing for writing. They did the South
Yeah.
Park
They
Stick
did
of
South
Truth
Park
as
game,
well.
yeah.
Oh,
like
really?
it's-
They
Nice.
did KOTOR
Okay.
2,
Yeah, I guess
which
that's
is a
right,
great
yeah.
game. Not as good as 1, but
And
Yeah.
that's coming out October. So
Oh god, I thought you said KOTOR was coming out. I guess.
They could just like we're at the point where maybe BioWare is vulnerable enough to make a
They've
new
been talking
KOTOR
about
game.
it. If you read that
Yeah.
Anthem article, they were talking about it.
Yeah.
And then they made an MMO
this
out of it
game, this
instead.
next game, however, this is something I actually thought was profoundly
Okay.
disappointing. It's looking. But-
So next we have Bleeding Edge, which is a
Great name.
4v4 melee combat multiplayer game from Ninja Theory.
Oh, is this a game that immediately after this looked exactly
yeah,
the same?
they followed
Yeah.
the Outer Worlds trailer with what like ugh.
Yeah,
It looks
don't-
like they ripped characters
Apex and
directly out
everything,
of
yeah.
like Borderlands and Overwatch. There is an alpha coming out
Oh, I didn't even
the
know
end
that.
of this month, apparently
Alright,
June
here's-
27th.
Here's all I have to say about that game: Battleborn. That's
Yeah,
it.
it has a little bit of
Listen, I like Ninja Theory.
Me too. Well, that's the
what's
thing
it
in the
called?
trailer. They're like, look at all these other games we
Yeah.
did, and they're all like,
Yeah, we
really
liked those
well.
games.
Yeah, but it was just weird because the last game on the list was Hellblade.
Yeah.
Which
They're like, yeah, remember that game about depression that we made? Check out these dudes chainsawing each other.
yeah, like
What?
they made this like super
Yeah.
engaging like single player thing, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. There's no to me. There's no more room in something in my life or something like that. But
Next
Agreed.
up, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Can't wait.
that
Love that
looked
game.
gorgeous.
It's been around for a while.
Never
I
We can
played
move
the
on.
first
I never
one,
had to play
but,
Ori, but that the new trailer they showed, the
Dude,
artwork
Ori is
looks
so good.
phenomenal.
Ori is fantastic. Anybody
just-
who likes, like, I am sick of Metroidvanias, but I will play the
I was just
shit
saying, I'll
out of
touch on
Ori
what I
and the
said
Will
while
of the
we were
Wisps.
watching the conference. Like, I feel like we were just so flooded with side-scrolling games at the dawn of like the developers'
Yeah.
welcomeness
I mean, that one
to consoles and
that
PC.
one stands out artistically.
Yeah, so
for
But
it
sure.
takes
none of them
it
look
takes,
like that.
Yes, I'm saying
Yeah.
it takes a lot to stand out. That's why I've played Inside and
Yeah,
at
yeah, those games are
Limbo,
great.
and that's why I've played Shovel Knight and all those like
Name the best
games that have
ones.
actually stood out and been
Yes.
the best. And I've always wanted to play Ori. I never got a chance to.
And that game is also that was the first of many on this list to be slated for a 2020 like late winter, early spring, end of fiscal quarter release.
Yeah, your water tastes like cotton.
Mine?
What?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you want. I don't pay. I don't drink. Why do you think I got a bottle of water here?
I know. Okay, so next up we have Minecraft Dungeons.
From the makers of Minecraft, but not that guy.
Yeah, from the non-racist makers of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Um,
That looks fun.
looks like Diablo.
Yeah.
It's
Minecraft,
cute.
Diablo,
It's neat.
Gauntlet style.
I'm of the mind that if you're going to spin off something as big as Minecraft, make it a fun game.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
looks fun.
I don't know how they're going to
Absolutely.
incorporate like building, if at all, but it has 4-player local and
The
online. And it
aesthetic
looks
looks,
fun.
it looks like that. It's interesting.
All right.
I don't
Coming
hate
out on everything?
I don't hate on that. I imagine that was fun to work on, and I imagine
Yeah. It'll be fun,
to
I'm
play.
sure.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very interested
And
to
By the
fire
way,
it up with people on a couch
I
together.
should mention, I'm going to put a little asterisk, just mention it out when a game is going to be on Game Pass. So Bleeding Edge, Game Pass, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Game Pass, Minecraft Dungeons, Game Pass. So
I forgot Ninja Theory. That's their first game since getting bought by
yes,
Microsoft.
Hellblade was their last independent game.
Yeah, and Obsidian is owned by Microsoft now too. But Outer
Yes.
Worlds was announced.
Outer
prior.
Worlds is being published by Take-Two's like indie division, private division, I think it's called.
Really?
Yes.
An indie? I mean, that game looks like it has a pretty large budget.
Yeah, well,
All right.
what are you gonna do?
The Star Wars.
Okay, yeah, and then we get Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is the Apex Legends makers.
Don't say
Basil
that.
or
Star
Oregano.
Wars game.
It's Titanfall.
Yeah,
It's from Respawn.
it looks kind of like Dark Souls mixed with Uncharted mixed
They
with.
got TIE fighters.
You said the
Yeah.
movement looked, because I was saying how it looked. It reminded me of Uncharted or Rise, or to the modern Tomb Raider games. But you were saying that the movement kind of looks more like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say.
I actually
The
just
powers give me a little bit of Force Unleashed or Jedi
when I was
Outcast
just
vibes.
watching the Donkey E3 video. a couple
Yeah, that
minutes
video was
ago,
great.
I was watching a little bit more of that gameplay, kind of like just not in that.
It's
Not in that
gorgeous.
criticizing kind of
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It looked a little bit faster than
It
like, one of
does.
those
That's
games.
which
Like,
is
it
what,
looks
because
quick.
that's what will either like make it for me.
That
because
reminded me a bit of more Force Unleashed. Like the way he threw
Yeah.
the astromech droid into like the pile
yeah,
of
and when he
people,
picked
or,
the
like,
guy
picked
and threw him into the
laser.
blaster.
Yeah.
Because
That
like
seems like a
I'm
little
not a
quicker,
huge fan
like, harder.
of the Dark Souls style melodic dodgy combat. So to see this have a little bit more of a
quicker pace.
quicker pace would do a lot for me. And just to have an engaging single player experience.
I've been reading up on the game, and apparently there are a lot of people that have seen. I don't know if it's playable at E3 or not, but either seen a demo or played it themselves and heard like a pitch for it. And apparently they're like behind closed doors or like private pitch for it is like way better than what they showed on stage.
Really?
People are saying that it's like a Metroidvania game. Like I told you,
What?
the map is very heavily inspired by Metroid Prime. Apparently there's like a lot of backtracking. It's all one location.
Well, maybe revealing this
Kind of.
shit on a fucking stream the way you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but,
also, I mean, you had some questions kind of narratively, like as to like.
yeah, why does it need to be? Why does
why is
Forrest Whitaker need to
Forrest
be in
Whitaker
it?
in it? Yeah.
Why do you need to have another
'Cause they had
fucking
to make
annoying
Rogue
droid?
One relevant.
Yeah, yeah, they needed him in there because
Also-
he died 5 minutes into that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Also, don't knock
He
the
was a-
droid thing, okay? There's always going to be a little droid in Star Wars.
No,
I
there doesn't
know.
have to be.
I know.
I guess, but let's
That's what
not
I'm
forget
saying.
these are kids' movies.
I know,
okay?
but the a lot of the older Star Wars games I thought were going for something way like
Oh, for sure.
yeah. This seems like it. I mean, I understand with the Disney banner, there's a little bit more control that people up there have that they didn't have back in the day, but you know. But that's coming out this year. It's November, and now we can move on to my announcement of the show.
Now, November 15th, 2019 for Jedi Fallen Order, and now we get Randy's announcement of the show, Blair Witch the game.
Yes, I think that all right. I know people are gonna make
Hold
fun
on.
of me, but
It's made by the Layers of Fear team.
yeah, which I was not a fan of.
and
But
it's coming August 30th.
See?
So soon.
yes, that's all right. So all jokes aside, the reason why I mean I do have an affinity for the Blair Witch Project, but I just think this is the kind of shit that I watch E3 for, where it's like this is such a weird thing to come up out of nowhere to show. Like it's I don't know how much value this property has and why someone would want to make a game. But like based on this material, but it didn't leak and it comes out in 2 months. Like that's fun. That's exciting.
Yeah,
and,
it is a fun announcement.
And it looked sharp. I think you could actually.
Yeah, I like the trailer a lot. That's
yeah,
really cool.
it's got a cool look to it. You got a dog companion, and it's going for the found footage thing. And the way they even did the reveal at the trailer
That's
at the
what I'm saying.
very
That's why I
end,
like
zooming
that.
out,
I
was,
really
was,
like that.
was neat. That's unexpected.
I have a question to ask because I watched Giant Bombs watch us.
Yeah, they were
watch
cracking
the-
up. Yeah. Very unexpected.
When he turns the corner and there's a person standing
Staring
in
at the
corner,
wall.
standing at the wall,
Yeah.
is that a Blair Witch thing?
Yes, that's
'Cause
the
they-
ending of the original film.
Okay,
if
because
you
they
ever saw
call-
that first
I haven't.
movie. Okay.
They called it before the
They
logo
did,
was shown.
and I didn't connect the dots when we were watching it
Yeah.
live, just because like again, that's the last property I would expect to see on stage at a show like this. So, and it takes place in 1996. It seems like they're ignoring all the other weird attempts to carry that franchise forward after that first movie. I think you play a detective who's searching the woods for the kids. I think that's a great premise. I may eat my words in a couple months if it's bad, but I'm very excited to play it. I think it's cool. $30 too.
Moving on to our meme of the show, or one of them.
It's great.
Cyberpunk 2077 was shown off.
Yes. Realistically, this is probably the game of the show.
Apparently, from what I'm hearing of the demos, so they showed this game last year, and this won a lot of Best of E3 awards last year.
Was that behind closed doors last year?
That was behind closed doors. And
they put out like that 48-minute video.
Yes, that 48-minute video was what they saw behind closed doors. Apparently, there is another demo being shown of the game. And a lot of people are saying that this demo is even better than the one we saw.
Man, I want to live in that world.
There's a lot there's a lot more people saying that if the game is even near consistently good as these two demos have been, this has a shot
being one of the best
like getting
games
tens and being one of the best games of all time.
They're aiming high. There's a lot.
I'm getting chills thinking about how high they're aiming,
and the implications
honestly,
of just all the little pieces. Of,
yes.
Like,
honestly,
this
is a team that we know as can put out a decent, compelling open world game. Honestly, like Witcher 3 is probably top 3 best fantasy RPGs I've ever played in my entire life.
Sure.
I think it's
me and Randy agree, and we don't like The Witcher because we don't like fantasy, but this world is something else, man. I love that.
I just mean
aesthetic.
as a way to...
I just hope that they can create characters more compelling than Geralt as well.
Yeah, well, yes, as a game build, I just mean like everything about the game.
Totally. Yeah.
Never have I played a game, I just brought it up the other day because I was playing a little bit, and I was like, look how alive this is. Like, when I think about like fantasy worlds, like, or games with open worlds, like, you either get things like, you know, GTA or Spider-Man where it's just like these like walk left, walk right kind of NPCs that just
I'd say
walk
GTA
around.
is a little more realized than that, but
yes, but there's a lot of things if you just pay attention to GTA. It's just like a guy walking in a loop around like a block, you know what I mean? Like,
I can't say I ever to me that was all moving backgrounds.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot more moving backgrounds. Not to say that The Witcher is any better than that, but there's something about when you walk into a village and there's a way like a fence is placed and like you can like, oh, there's a barrel knocked over there. It looks like somebody a minute ago like knocked it over by accident when they were walking by drunk. Like
all the
like
cyberpunk
and stuff.
footage, there's so much going on, and it seems
I love fantasy. But I also would prefer sci-fi in any sort of video game environment.
I've never beaten The Witcher.
No, not exactly same, but you know what I mean. This is my shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I've never beaten The Witcher, and I'm not going to because I don't like fantasy. But from everything I've heard about The Witcher and what I've played of The Witcher,
you know, CD Projekt Red.
I beat 2,
like a game,
and I tried to play 3. Wasn't really into the world, but like. Those people making a game where I am into the world excites me a whole lot.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is that like the sci-fi element is like fuck. I can only imagine like something that strikes me. My favorite thing in the world. I think what most of us like about cyberpunk is the aesthetic. Obviously, that idea of like really close, like tight alleyways. Like that's why I'm obsessed with the city of Tokyo. Like the idea of going down an alleyway and there's like like lights hanging above.
Just
and
everything.
Fucking
and it's grim and gross
like,
looking in just the right ways too.
AIs controlling self-driving cars, body modification.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the
fucking
best part
corporations running everything. Like
the dystopia I wished we live in. Not this late stage capitalism like can't pay our health care.
Yeah, that's
like,
boring.
Yeah, that's boring. But like I like the idea that it's really bright and vibrant, but you can tell that there's dark around every corner, like it would be in that kind of environment, like this like face value, like happiness.
Also, there's an interesting article out there. If I can find it, I'll post it maybe on my Twitter. So at Austin Blakesley, but
he's going for more followers than us, dude.
Yeah. But there was a long article about why the cyberpunk aesthetic is what it is, because it's very 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
when did the tabletop game come out?
80s.
Okay.
It's very 80s, and it's also very Japanese focused. There's a lot of Japanese...
Blade Runner's like that, too. Yeah.
Blade Runner's like that. Ruiner's like that.
Yes.
There's a lot of Japanese imagery to the cyberpunk aesthetic, and there's a reason, because when the tabletop game was made in the 80s... Japan was like ruling the world. It's the same reason that
Right,
like
there was a lot of fear.
it's the same
around
reason
that,
like
yeah.
the company that he works for in Die Hard that gets like attacked
Yeah.
is like his wife works for it? I don't remember. Die
It's
Hard.
been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah. It's
But
his wife.
it's a Japanese
He's a
company.
cop.
It's like the American branch of a Japanese company
Oh,
because
wow.
everybody thought that like Japan was raring to like take over the world
Yeah.
economically in the
Yeah,
80s.
they
It's very
tried. They
interesting.
tried that once.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
But you say this excites
not-
you. Do you know what excites me?
Keanu Reeves.
Reeves.
All right. Yeah. So Keanu Reeves is in the game. He plays Johnny Silverhands.
Yeah.
Who is
Silverhands.
who is
He
an
apparently has the
ex-
most recorded VO.
15 hours of
That's
dialogue or
fucking
something.
awesome. That's
He's
crazy.
an ex-punk rock person who can't play guitar anymore because he lost his hands, but then got them replaced with robot hands. This
didn't
is all
know
from the
this.
tabletop game. It's like a
Yeah.
character from the tabletop
yeah,
Oh,
game.
I
really?
did hear
Nice.
that.
Okay, I didn't know that. I
And
love-
apparently you can pick a mentor in the game, and he's one of the mentors you
Who
pick.
the
which,
fuck would pick anyone else?
who wouldn't
Why
pick
record VO
Keanu
for
Reeves?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
understand.
reveal trailer was really cool,
Yeah, but it's-
and then having him actually
Have him
walk out.
Well,
that
it's
was
like,
funny,
kinda
it's like
because
I
I've
understand
watched-
the celebrity behind it, but that was a very wholesome.
I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
I watched
that
it like
stage
3
presence
times, and
was-
it's hilarious. We didn't realize that was who that was because when he says he's like, "Wake the fuck up,
Yeah,
samurai!"
it's clearly
there's a
his.
city to burn.
Yeah,
it sounds so much like
and it's
him.
not just his
Obviously, it
voice,
is
but
him.
it's also his motion capture and
It's his face,
likeness and everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
And he
but-
came out on stage, and he was his good old charming self.
yeah.
And a guy yelled, he said, the city's breathtaking. And then a guy yelled, "You're breathtaking."
And he responded to it in the most sweetest way possible. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Like, I know it sounds like I'm sorry, but that was just a fun
one
E3
of
moment.
one of 3 delightful moments that we'll get to the other 2.
yes, yeah. Then he revealed the release date.
He revealed the release date, April 16th, 2020. Not that far off.
No, that's actually for that game sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, like I said,
This game has been in development forever. Though.
exactly.
God, yeah.
Judging by how they seem to have put out games in the past, it's probably mostly done and just getting finishing
Yeah.
touches.
Well,
over
Witcher
the
was
last year.
2015. Yeah.
Witcher 2
Like
was
5
like
years.
I think it was-
2010.
Oh,
so
the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Every 5
Every
years.
5 years.
Yeah. And for a game like that, 5 years, not that bad.
Like a Rockstar song. Yeah, totally.
Okay,
There's a lot of that game is gonna be endlessly long.
We're gonna blow through. I'm gonna blow through the next couple because I feel like we don't have a lot to say. If I say one and you want to say something about it, just stop me.
Okay. Yeah, we
Uh,
get rapid fire.
Spiritfarer is a Terraria-like game on a boat. You talk to animals. I don't know what it is. There's no date for it. Whatever.
I just want to use this as an opportunity to attack
Chelsea
Stardew
Mylan.
Valley. I think it's a garbage game.
Yeah, that's
Our
a
last
good, that's a
guest
good
is gonna
fight.
have some-
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good fight to pick. Whatever. Bad choice to follow Cyberpunk with
That would be
Real
hurtful to
bad.
any game.
Battletoads reboot.
Yeah.
Looks neat. Whatever. No date for that.
Sure.
Grow
Still
up.
3 player.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now the joke is over. Like
That's
no
what I'm
one.
saying. Nobody cares.
You don't play as Ratchets and
Joke was
Pimples
dumb
or
then
whatever?
too.
Yeah.
When they gave us fucking Battletoad pins when I worked at GameStop, I
one
just
th-
threw it on the ground.
The one thing I will say about Battletoads is that they very much so evoked the imagery
spirit,
of
yeah.
the notoriously hard
Yes.
jet bike level or
Yeah,
whatever.
yep.
They're like, we got it again. It's like, why? It's,
Why? Yeah, no one's
people
gonna
hate
finish
that
it.
game because
Yeah.
of that. Next, we have a game called RPG Time: The Legend of Wright, which looks phenomenal.
It's
I
it's
don't
beautiful.
want to play it.
It's very busy looking. Kind of. It looks like
it looks. It's
like
the whole
Little
thing.
Big Planet or
The whole thing takes place on like a kid's desk,
Notebook.
and it's like a notebook flipping through, and the whole thing is hand drawn
Like
with
Drawn to
in
Death.
pencil. Yeah, like Drawn to Death, exactly. I'm sure it'll do better than that, hopefully.
yeah. It looks cute.
And then next up, we have our ID at Xbox montage.
These are
I'm
always
pretty
great
sure
because
everythll on this list is
Game
all
Pass.
Game
well,
Pass.
This is
what's
all
funny?
Game Pass.
These are all Game Pass, but what's funny about these lists
Battletoads also Game Pass.
is this is how like Cuphead got revealed. Like it was just in one of these montages, and everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, wait, what the fuck was
a
that?"
couple of these games I
I
am
know, I
excited.
can't believe that was in a montage.
know.
Like that fucking game was like an
couple-
artistic
I
masterpiece.
really is.
A
It's
couple
like
of
the
these
best
games I
looking
am
game ever
excited
made.
for. Let's go through them real quick though.
Yeah.
Dead Static Drive. Great.
That looks cool. Yeah, we played it at PAX.
played it
That
at
guy
PAX.
was super cool.
It is very
It's
cool.
cool to see that it's on its way out. Yeah.
Pathologic 2.
I don't know. It had a neat look to it. Though.
Star Renegades. Don't know.
Don't remember.
After Party.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Very excited for
Oxenfree
that.
people. Very
Yeah.
excited for that
It's
game.
literally, Chris, the premise of this game is that it's a boy and a girl die, and they're in hell, and their only way to get out of hell is to have a drinking contest with the devil. It looks
amazing.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
I'm very excited for
I'm
that.
very
That game's
excited to play
funny.
that. The
Yeah.
game is fun. The Good Life, which is the weird game from the guy that made Deadly Premonition, right?
Is it?
I think so.
Wait, really?
I think it
You
is.
mean
Sweary?
Sweary?
I think
That's
it's
his
a
new
sweary
game?
game, isn't it?
Is that the cat detective one?
I think so.
Okay.
Crosscode, don't know what that is. Creature in the Well, which is like a weird Arkanoid dungeon crawler game.
Right,
Looks
yeah,
neat.
yeah.
Looks really neat.
Yeah.
Killer Queen Black, excited for that.
Yeah, that's the
That's another multiplayer game.
Yeah,
but
that's like the 8-player arcade.
Up
cabinet.
until this point, it's only existed as an arcade cabinet
Yeah.
at things like GDC. I'm very
Yeah,
excited
it's
to
supposed
try
to come
it.
to Switch forever ago.
Yeah, River Bond,
Yeah, that was
which I believe is out. That's like a dungeon crawler game.
that's on Game Pass right now.
Uh-huh.
It's like an isometric kind of. It looks like 3D Dot Heroes kind of look to it. It's kind of cool thing.
Unto the End, don't know what that is. Blazing Chrome kind of looks like a Contra thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Felix the Reaper, don't know what that is. Undermine.
Another Stardew Valley clone,
Yeah.
fucking trash looking game.
Supermarket Shriek is a game where you're a guy and a goat in a shopping cart and you have to yell.
You
in
yell
the
into a
microphones
microphone.
to
That's all I
control
know
it.
about it to turn.
Yeah. Secret
funny.
Neighbor, which is a multiplayer version of Hidden.
Of Hello Neighbor.
Hello Neighbor.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Sorry.
I saw that.
Iconfall, which don't know what that is.
I bet it's pixel art.
River Bond's out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
I think it like dropped around the same time as E3,
Yeah.
and like people didn't notice.
Lord of the Rings, the card game.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
Night Call, which is that game where you're like an Uber driver.
Oh, that looks cool. The noir
does look
looking
cool.
one. They should that on the Nindy Direct or
Yeah,
whatever.
the end of it,
Yeah.
you murder a bunch of people.
Yeah. And then Totem Teller. Don't know what that is.
What happened to that Night Before game that got shown like 3 E3s ago that looked cool?
Was that the one with the guy that was a Gamergator?
The Milkshake Duck.
What?
What?
Huh?
You never heard of Milkshake Duck?
No.
Milkshake Duck is the it's like it's apparently it's a phrase describing when something is immediately cool, but then you find out it's not cool. And that was the whole thing. It's like there's a duck who likes milkshakes, but he's racist or whatever. They found out the duck. I
have
regret to
heard-
inform you the duck is racist.
I have heard that term.
So
I
people
never
use
heard-
that term a lot to describe the Night Before because everyone's like, that looks fucking awesome. It's this cool like weird 3D 2D cyberpunk adventure game, and then everybody found out that the guy had
made
some
it was a
gross
Gamergator.
views. He did publicly come out though later and say that that was an old
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
doesn't think that way anymore. It sounded genuine that he
Yeah.
kind of grew a little bit.
Moving
But
on.
I don't know what happened to that game.
Game Pass coming to PC, $9.99 a month.
So yeah.
Game Pass Ultimate includes Gold and Game Pass for Xbox and Game Pass for PC.
That's
and
a good ass
A
deal.
little hot tip for you listeners
Yeah,
out there.
tell them about what you got.
If you have Xbox Live Gold, you can spend $1 to upgrade the entirety of your Xbox Live Gold subscription to this. So I went, Black Friday 2017, I went and bought 4 cards for $30 a piece, spent $120 for 4 years of Xbox Live, and then I spent $1, and now I have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate until 2021.
Jesus Christ. Man.
That's $15 a month. Game Pass on PC, very cool. Downloaded it, works. Their launcher's great.
That's awesome.
It's got
They
lot
did
of cool games
they did a
on it.
whole reconstruction of all that stuff.
Arkham Knight's coming to Game Pass. Metro's on Game Pass now.
Arkham Knight's already on Game Pass.
Whatever.
Whoa.
I thought that was one of the ones they were advertising.
I don't know.
It is. I just saw it.
Oh, it came out at E3.
It came out
Yeah,
at E3.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we had Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming
My
back.
brother will be happy.
Yeah.
That's a funny throwback because that's kind of where they started in games. But I mean, it looked gorgeous, but
It
I'm
looks
never
gorgeous.
gonna play
It uses cloud stuff, and it uses like I guess Bing Maps data to make. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next, we have Age of Empires 2 remastered.
Yeah.
Coming out this fall.
I want to see them 4K sprites.
Played
Yeah.
it in 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in 4K.
That's hilarious.
Next, we have Wasteland 2. Wasteland 3. Chris, how you feel about Wasteland?
I I remember playing one of them. I couldn't tell you which one it was.
Wasn't
Okay.
3 crowdfunded? Or 2 was
I think so.
crowdfunded? I don't remember.
Then so maybe it was the first one.
I don't remember.
Whatever. I don't like. I'm very picky
Okay.
about strategy
Sorry,
games.
sorry if you like Wasteland. None of us care. Okay, moving on.
That's a shame. I know
If
there
you're
are people
listening,
who really
if you're
like
listening,
that game.
Andrew, we apologize.
Yeah.
Our friend,
Apparently-
our friend Andrew's big Wasteland.
Apparently that game is really great for what it is.
Yes,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Microsoft then came out and announced that they purchased Double Fine.
That video, that Tim Schafer video is
Yeah.
the funniest thing ever.
It's like this Tim Schafer video with dramatic music, and he goes, "We've been a company for 19 years, and for those 19 years, we've been independent. But recently, Microsoft came to me and said, 'What if we gave you a bunch of money?' And I said, 'Okay, yeah, let's do it.'" They showed a trailer for Psychonauts 2.
Looks cool.
That's coming to Game Pass as well.
Wow, is that really? Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I just need
Yeah,
to play it. 'Cause I don't know if that'd be a game I would purchase just because. I don't know.
I mean, it
Yeah.
looks like it
It looks like a sequel to Psychonauts.
Yeah.
I
It's
already
about time.
crowdfunded it. I'm excited to play it. No date on that one. Supposed
Yeah.
to be coming out this year still.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Chelsea found out that the Double Fine or getting bought by Microsoft, Ooblets went independent.
Okay.
Yeah, they're no longer under Double
Ooh.
Fine's publishing banner.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little weird. See if that ever comes out now.
Next, we have Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which
They
is all
already
9
covered
movies.
everything.
We're gonna move.
Lego.
We're gonna move
All
past
9
it.
Movies? So they're gonna make a new Star Wars game for the next one that's not out yet, and then that'll be part of this.
I think this is going to
This
cover
is
those
gonna
events.
include that, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. What's it called?
the Evan
The First Jedi. What's it called?
The
Rise
last
of
Skywalker,
Rise
Rise
of Skywalker.
awakens from his nap.
Rise of Skywalker.
Rising Sky.
That's coming out in 2020. We're moving past it. We've already played that game a bunch of times.
9 times
yeah.
to be exact. Sorry.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which is another
It's going to be
behind the
hard
back.
to make a Dragon Ball game after Fighters.
Yeah, but I'll buy it. I'm done. That's early 2020. Next, we have a very interesting game.
Yeah, this game
12
looked
minutes.
Apparently,
Which
this was
apparently
at
has been
PAX,
around
yeah.
for 5
Who'd
years
have-
at conventions.
Yeah.
This is that top-down one where the guy is
Yeah.
stuck in a time loop for 12 minutes, and he's like, his wife's like, "I got you a surprise," and he's like, "I know what it is. We're
Yeah.
trapped
The
in
cops
the
are
time loop.
coming to
The
kill
cops
us.
are coming
I
to
know
kill
that
you."
you killed your dad. It looks nuts.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into
I am very
that.
excited
Yeah.
for that.
It looks cool.
And from what I hear, people that played it at conventions are
Yeah,
very interested
really
in
interesting.
it. It's very good.
And it had a whole different look. It was still top down, but apparently they redid like all
Yeah.
of the artwork and stuff. recently.
Next, we have Way to the Woods,
That looked
which is the deer game.
a little overly precious, but sure.
Yeah,
It's cute.
It looks. Chris is like, somebody worked really hard on this when we were watching it, and
Yeah.
I was like, I feel bad, but I don't care. I'm not gonna play
Yeah,
it.
that's kind of.
What was this?
That was
the
that deer
deer game?
You
Oh,
remember
the
that?
deer
Yeah.
game?
Yeah, it's true. So
Yeah.
he's like, "This is my passion." Ah, yeah.
Then we have Gears 5.
I so angry about that title.
Yeah,
That's so fucking stupid.
Gears
They're
5.
pulling
It's
a
not
Fast
called
and Furious.
Gears
It's
of War
called
5.
Gears 5. It's not called Gears of War 5.
that means that the next one will
What?
be called War 6, like Fast and Furious.
Like, and their fucking statement was like, everybody already called it Gears, and it's like, yeah, everybody calls Grand Theft Auto GTA. That doesn't mean the next one is not going to be called Grand Theft. Like, just like people come up with slang because it's short form for referring to games, but it's just like otherwise every single game is going to be called Mario. Like, it's like you already came up with a cool sounding title that is original and tied to your world, and then you're like, I don't know, Gears 5. What the fuck does that mean if you don't already know what Gears of War is? Like, you're guaranteeing new people will not come to your
All right.
game.
Let's get some details.
I want
now
that whole
Randy's
thing
done his
isolated.
rant.
God,
Yeah.
that trailer was kind of cool. Though. That song
clip.
was neat.
There's
with-
our Twitter clip, just you ranting about the title.
that song was neat though, with that girl's face getting all
Yeah,
distorted.
yeah, it was cool.
was
Okay,
very
so we
bizarre.
have
Gears War stupid. Storyline stupid.
this game is
That's
coming out.
opinion.
This game is coming out September 10th.
I'm very excited to have another split screen. Just
There was a Billie Eilish
shooter to
song
play
in the
with my
trailer.
roommate.
July 17th, we're gonna have a tech test, not a beta, a tech test There's also another mode announced called Gears 5 Escape, which is a weird 3-player. It's not Horde
Now,
mode,
is
but
this from the Gears of War franchise? Because I'm not sure. Is this mode?
No, it's from the Gears franchise.
Okay,
The
sorry.
way that they showed this was very bizarre too.
Yes.
They didn't really.
They
say
locked
what
a bunch
it
of
was.
wrestlers below the stage
in a jail. Yeah.
in a jail, and then they
Poor Xavier
zoomed
Woods.
in,
He's gonna
yeah.
get out.
And the Terminator's in it. Appearance 2 out of 3
Yeah, I
for the
was gonna
Terminator
say-
Oh my
because he's
God.
also
Not
in
the last
Mortal
time we're gonna
Kombat.
talk about the fucking Terminator
Oh,
today.
Gears. Now I get it. Like a robot. The Terminator's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terminator has gears.
Oh, as if I didn't know.
Shit, no, he has servos, dude. Get with it.
No.
Yeah, maybe the new Servos of War series can be out for 5 games, and then we'll get Servos
Servos.
5. First of all, if I needed an example on my side of why this game is garbage, the Terminator.
Yeah.
They're
I'm just
fun.
kidding,
They
that's
feel
good.
good, and I understand it's like struggling
I'm
with
being-
relevancy, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm being hard on it. I
Facetious.
really
I
don't
know.
care.
Yeah. I'll play through it and then never think about it again.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the new Elite controller, which looks
It's already the best controller ever made.
insane. Apparently, they added rubberized grips to it. You can adjust the tension.
It comes with a little wrench.
It comes with a wrench for adjusting the tension. It's got a built-in battery now instead of AA's. It's got Bluetooth built in, so you can use it on your phone. Crazy. Also,
didn't see that
we were
price,
trying to
yeah.
look up the price while we were watching the conference. Found it out. 180 bucks.
Really? I thought they were just going to price it the same as the first
Nope,
one.
180 bucks.
That's a little steep.
Next, we have Dying Light 2.
Game that we have not seen since last year.
Yeah. And it still looks cool.
It looks-
I like
yeah, it
Dying
looks
Light.
really good.
There's
Yeah,
more
for sure.
zombies,
I'll
more
play it.
parkour. I'm in.
And also a much more emphasis on all these warring factions. That's
Yeah, it's got
that's
a
neat.
living world where it's you make choices and then that affects
Ugh, I'm
there-
so over it.
there's
I
parts.
just want a game like Gears 5. I'm done open worlds.
Oh god. Spring 2020 for that one.
Yeah, throw it in there with everything else.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions. They got Legos in the Forza now.
You were shrugging your shoulders at that. I thought the Lego car was funny.
It looks cool.
It
I
looks
don't
cute.
like.
If I had a
It's weird because if
the Hot
if a game
Wheels
like Burnout
expansion.
still existed and it gave me a Lego mode and a Hot Wheels mode, I'd be all about it. But Forza's so hard.
it's weird to have
Yeah.
to have that in a simulation racer because
Yeah.
I don't know what the crossover demographic is to kids who are into Hot Wheels and Legos, and also this very
Yeah. Also know what ABS is.
the simulation.
You're
Fucking
telling me a
racing
kid who
game.
plays with small Legos doesn't know about anti-lock braking systems
Yeah.
or about the heat tire pressure menus.
Yeah.
You can skip this next one.
No, we're gonna say it. Gears Pop.
Is it called Gears Pop or is
Yeah.
it Gears of War Pop?
I don't know.
I hate this intellectual property.
That's why they had to rebrand so they could do the Pop vinyl one, Randy.
Yeah.
Next one, gonna blow past this.
Wait,
State
you
of
didn't
Decay
say
Heartland.
that Gears Pop was a Clash of Clans style game.
It's a Clash of Clans style game. They think they're funny. It's not funny.
Yeah.
State of Decay 2 Heartland, new DLC.
Wait, Clash of Clans, is that corporation that took all the fun out of fun?
No, that's just called clans.
We call it Clash.
We'll stop.
This game's state is actually looking pretty cool. I'm excited for this one.
Is this the running joke now?
None of these games work. None of these
Decay
games,
2.
none of these games have good enough names to make
Yeah.
that joke actually play.
Yeah. State of Decay 2 Heartland DLC. You like that game? There's more of it. I didn't, so.
Yeah, somehow they took.
I mean, I bet that game is
Somehow
probably in a
they-
better state now than when I
Yeah.
played it. It's
Yeah,
it had
better
ideas.
state.
A better state of decay, would you say?
Other than Blair Witch, this is probably one of the most weird, one of the
yeah.
weirder announcements of this thing.
I said Final Fantasy. Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to the West in
So
2020.
basically, your brain just
That
wanted to
game
say
came
it's
out-
one of those Japanese games that'll play.
Yes, we're gonna get to a lot of weeb shit soon.
When did that game come out?
2012.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's
That's
been a
so
while.
Weird.
Next, the game everybody is clamoring for. 650 million people can't be wrong. Crossfire X is coming.
That number's
you guys.
not possible. It's literally not. The most played game in the world. Don't have that many.
They made a free to play fucking Counter-Strike ripoff.
And that CG trailer is hilarious because there's like this very extravagant fucking,
Yeah,
and then you looked
Chris
up
nailed-
footage and it looked like garbage.
Chris nailed it. He was like, this looks like a trailer for a PS2 game.
Well, also, I just like looked up, the Crossfire X on Reddit because I figured I still don't know what the fuck this is. Top comment: did he really just say they have 650 million players?
Exactly. That's not
And
a thing.
one of the answers here in my country, China, it's one of the biggest games in terms of players and revenue.
I know
So-
it is because they have a ban on consoles there, and they don't know what good video games are.
So that's why we've never heard of it, and that's why it's got a billion
I know
players.
it's popular in Asia and stuff like that, but even so, like I don't think Phil Spencer realizes it's what 650 million people like
All right.
Yeah.
what that is.
Moving on. Speaking of weeb shit,
It's like less people have probably seen Avengers Endgame.
Tales of Arise. It's a Tales game. It's coming out in 2020.
Yep.
I hear those games are great. They're not for me.
I played
But-
Symphony on GameCube.
That was a long time
That
ago.
was a
There've
long
been
time
a lot of Tales games since then. Next we have Borderlands 3.
We just call it Border, actually.
No, it's called Lands. 3.
Lance 3.
Oh Jesus! It's all one word.
Yeah.
That's coming September 13th, 2019. I'm excited. They
Yeah.
didn't need to convince me more.
We already knew that was something we were all gonna play. Randy Pitchford wasn't there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
Thank God.
New DLC for 2 got
Yeah.
announced. That's probably what Melanie's playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've just been playing it all day.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
It's
it was
free.
on everything.
And
it came to like Vita and
It
shit,
was
didn't it?
like a 6 gigabyte download too. It was
That's
like
awesome.
Apparently,
five,
it's
so,
a multi-hour campaign.
That's
yeah,
cool.
So it's got quite a bit.
All right.
Like,
The characters from Tales are in it.
They put in
so.
like a transitionary storyline to get you to Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also like added the whole new gun ranking above like whatever the highest is,
Yeah.
like rainbow guns, and you get them and they're like literally
Did you?
rainbow
Did you?
gloss.
I'm curious. Because I never actually talked to. Did you play Tales from the Borderlands?
No.
It's really phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard.
The writing's exceptional, and apparently
Does
that.
Wolf Among Us count as a Tales game? Because that's the only one I've ever played.
No, that's a
like that.
Telltale game.
Okay, yeah.
Tales from the Borderlands, the story is takes place after 2, and a lot of the stuff in 3 and in this DLC are actually like
Yeah.
from.
This DLC is cool. It's
my
like
favorite
a
Borderlands
giant,
game.
like the Hyperion ship is like crashed into the planet. You can like see it. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that happens in. Yeah.
Okay, that happens
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Tales. Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Next we have Elden
It's a
Ring.
shame you can't get that game anymore, because otherwise I would recommend that people play it before 3.
Elden
Sorry.
Ring.
Oh, that's the
game from Miyazaki and From Software and George R.R. Martin.
Yes, this
Okay, I do
leaked.
have some thoughts on this. My initial thought is that
That
while
guy's
we-
never gonna finish that book.
But yeah. My second thought is like, my immediate thought was like, Dark Souls already has better fleshed out, intensely appealing fantasy.
Yeah,
Why would
that's one of
you
the
bring
big
in
appeals.
some Game of Thrones?
George R. R. Martin knows world building. He's probably just a consultant on.
Okay, exactly.
like,
World
yeah.
building is what makes Game of Thrones good.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can write that kind of fantasy. Like
Right.
overall, it's
But
not
world building is also what makes Dark Souls good.
Yeah, but Dark Souls did it in a different angle because it's a video game.
Yeah.
Because no game had ever before used world building to go
Yeah.
to just take you and go,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah.
And then not say anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what makes that shit so appealing.
Yeah.
We'll see what that game
Any
is.
game where you
that-
can't access the multiplayer unless you randomly find a fucking cult that lets you play multiplayer is fucking awesome
Yeah.
in my book.
Yeah.
Like,
And there was no footage of this. It
and
was
this
just
comes from somebody who's never played
Yeah.
a Dark Souls. I've played 2 hours of 3,
Oh,
but
really?
I'm obsessed with the way these games are made and what
yes,
they've done and all
yeah.
that shit. So.
I respect the fuck out of those games, even if I don't
This
play
is
them. And I'm sure because
was-
it is a Namco From Software game, I'm sure it will probably play that way too.
yeah. It'll probably play well.
It
They
probably
make
will.
They make good
It'll
games.
probably look really sharp. It'll probably have great artwork and
Yeah.
some good lore. And yeah.
Next we have Project xCloud, which is Microsoft's Stadia competitor.
Yeah.
And I got some things to say about this because, hot tip for you out there, we had an episode about Jeff Gerstmann and Giant Bomb. They do a nightly live show, like a talk show, and they bring people on, and every year Jeff interviews Phil Spencer.
great.
And to me, that is always better than
the stage stuff?
conference
Yeah.
because he talks so candidly about everything.
They're very fascinating and casual.
His
interviews,
pitch
very
for
yeah.
Project xCloud was great because he didn't like actively call out Stadia or anything, but he basically said, he's like, look, I know that no matter what I do, the streaming service is never going to beat playing a game on your PC or playing a game on an Xbox or even playing a game on a PlayStation or a Switch. He's like, this is a complementary service.
That's
The
brilliant.
goal of Project xCloud is not the goal of Stadia. The goal of Project xCloud is, hey, I'm in the middle of this game and I have to leave, but I'm going to bring my phone and a controller with
and
me.
continue it.
And I'm going to continue it.
Yeah.
And then when I get home, I bought the game on Xbox. It plays
Still
on Project
downloaded?
xCloud too.
Yeah.
It's still downloaded on my Xbox. The save synced to the cloud. Everything's good.
That has some serious potential. to
That is very
actually-
cool.
Yeah, that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
that's awesome.
And that is.
And it was they had it there for people to play.
Yeah.
And I know Brad and Jeff said the first thing they did was play
Active
Gears of
reload.
War, and the active reload works
Yeah.
so perfectly. So
Yep.
yeah, no date for that. But
Apparently you can also stream from your console to your phone, which was a thing on PC, but I think they're just bringing it to phones now,
yeah,
or from the cloud. No date on that yet. I'm assuming it was playable there. I'm assuming that will launch sometime before our next item,
yeah.
which is Project Scarlet.
I hated this video. It was the same thing as the X.
No, but watch. If you're at all interested in the next Xbox, watch the interview with Phil Spencer, because that made me feel a lot better.
No,
about
me too.
their whole thing.
I'm sorry. I meant just this pitch video. Like the pitch video is like, and people even called it beforehand. They're like, okay, it's gonna be like B-roll of a studio making a microchip
it
with a
was
bunch of
bad.
talking heads being like,
We're
it's,
changing blank.
yeah, like literally.
Literally, the only important information that we got out of this thing is that it's going to include 4 generations of games. So Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Project
Which makes sense
Scarlet.
because they stopped updating. Yeah, the backwards stuff.
It's got a solid state drive and an SSD in it. Which was
How is that meme not going around there?
Another
Because
meme.
all of us did a double take where they were
Everybody
like,
collectively at once, the world did a double take.
how did
because,
that make it up in there?
Like, Melanie was like, I'm not stupid, right? A solid state drive and an SSD are the same,
same
thing.
thing, and we were like,
she
yes.
was she was like, I'm not like, I don't want to ask because I think it's a stupid question. I was like, you're not being stupid.
Yeah,
that guy's stupid.
that guy's an idiot.
It's absolutely
Like,
the same
Twitch
thing.
chat lost its mind. Yeah, it's just like, what? Yeah, that got edited and put in there.
Has an AMD Zen 2 processor, which I looked into. They're very powerful.
Yeah.
It apparently also uses the SSD as video memory, which
That's
is
what I
really
was gonna
neat.
say. But wait, one of them's for visual memory. It's not. It's a special SSD.
They're beating the faster load times drum too, which is what Sony was doing. When
Sony
they
was
showed
doing
their
that
thing.
too. Yeah, it's got faster load times.
Seamless world transition kind of.
Which
garbage.
I'll say it
You know,
again.
like-
Don't really care about load times.
It doesn't affect me that
Faster
much.
is being cool, but like maybe don't make them a minute. Like I'm okay if
Yeah.
they're like 20 seconds.
I mean, a
They
lot of
don't have to
games,
be instant.
even some of the bigger games recently will just load once. The games like
Yeah.
Red Dead,
Yep.
like I prefer that where it's just
Apparently-
like, okay, load for 5 minutes and then never load again.
Apparently,
Like,
somehow
Yeah.
Cyberpunk does that too. No load screens.
Damn.
Coming holiday 2020.
Yep, that's expected. I'm sure it'll be alongside the PS5.
Yeah.
We'll see
Yeah,
more
remember
next
when they
year.
actually used to compete with each other?
Oh, they still do. Don't worry. It'll be.
That was the other thing about the Phil Spencer interview, where he was just like,
Oh yeah, that was.
he was like, "Is this
Yeah.
kind?" He's like, "We didn't get a lot of information out of that video. Is that kind of like, are you like playing a card game with Sony right now?" And he's like, "Oh, absolutely."
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what we're doing, and
Yeah.
we're kind of playing this game of chicken right now."
Yeah,
And I was like,
it's
"That's
fucking great."
Yeah, that's so."
Yeah. But I do like how much he wants video games in general to be successful.
Yeah,
Not just Microsoft.
The one thing he said was, he was like, "I want to beat Sony and I want to beat Nintendo, but I want to barely beat them."
Yeah.
He's like,
I
I
thought
don't
that
want to
was
smash them and make Xbox the only thing on the market because that's bad for games. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to sell more than Sony, but I want to hear that everybody is selling more consistently as time goes on. Which is like,
That's a great quote.
God, that dude is so cool.
He really is.
And then lastly, to
This
round
was
out
their end,
Microsoft's
one more
conference,
thing.
the Scarlet will be launching with a very popular franchise, Halo Infinite.
Which, opposed to its name, Infinite, there's actually zero content about this game right now.
There's a story trailer. I got a little hyped for it because I'm a big Halo fan,
it's a
but
cool-
also
it-
5 sucked. So
I thought it was a little disappointing only because we don't know enough. It's still.
I'm sure we'll see it next year.
I know we will. I understand like the weight of what this trailer is trying to say. It's just more of like toss us a little more. This is it's Halo. Like that's your key thing. But that was that's their closer.
I'm so done with Halo.
No, you're not. You're gonna play Infinite.
Oh, of course I will.
I still have hope.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the bulk. Microsoft definitely had the most games of their conference, so that was
I
that
would
was
just
the
like to
bulk of our
point out that
conversation.
my script is like 9 pages long. Like 4 of that was Xbox.
Yeah,
So we're
that's what they do.
we're
The rest of
getting
this will be much quicker.
the rest of this is not nearly as many announcements. A lot of talking. Microsoft didn't do a lot of talking. They just did a lot of showing.
Yeah, they have
And they went
14,
for like 90 minutes. So
14 Microsoft Studio games, 60 something games total.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Next up, later that night, we had Bethesda, which we also all watched together.
Yeah.
They started off with the Todd Howard apology hour. He came out and said, "Hey, we're sorry." It's like you guys. The Bethesda conference is weird. Before we get into the content of it,
we need to address the crowd.
One of two things. Number one, Bethesda was like weirdly leaning into their like, our fans are so fucking great.
It opened with that montage.
Yeah, they're
of
like,
just
"You
like
guys-
Bethesda saved me from killing myself.
Yeah, you guys fucking rule, dude. I don't know what we would do with that. Like, they were just like, they're like, man, we fucked up. And it's like the equivalent of like when a kid like messes up and then they're like super nice to you the next day or something. It was like that. Man, I fucked up, so I'm gonna be like overly nice for no reason. And yeah, that crowd was high on something, man. They were clapping for
They
everything.
were paid or boozed up or something.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it was like they couldn't get through anything because there was so much cheering, and it was like the most like least cheer-worthy fucking. Like it was so weird.
The most least cheer-worthy thing. Do you mean their entire conference?
No, because
Except for a couple
Ed was
out
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very and
Id and Arcane.
Yes.
And Tango Gameworks of all
I
people.
was gonna say there's like two
Yes.
or three.
Yeah.
yeah, anything that basically wasn't Bethesda at their own conference.
Yeah, it wasn't Bethesda Game Studios proper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Todd Howard did later, like apparently in interviews, he seemed pretty
Did you watch that
somber
thing?
and defeated. No.
The thing with Mike Mahardy and stuff?
No, I listened to I saw him on the late night show and I watched that and he talked about
Okay,
it
yeah.
pretty openly on
So
there.
another video, GameSpot does like a live stage show, and apparently they talked to Todd Howard. I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but they like grill into him kind of hard, and he fesses up. He's like, "Yeah, we fucked up. And
Yeah.
here's what I would have done differently, and here's what we learned for the future." Also, if you're not interested, watch it, because those two people are the most beautiful people on the planet.
Yeah.
Mike Mahardy
I
and
know.
Lucy James.
Oh my god, I love them so much.
Yeah.
I really do. They were
all right.
both together on that.
Yes.
talk show, too.
Let's get into the content. So we start the conference off with Elder Scrolls Blades,
Which I nominate this for. I nominate this for like the biggest who fucking cares game at the show.
oh, that's a loaded category, my friend.
I know.
Yeah.
But there's dragons in it, and it's coming to Switch. Moving on.
The Switch version's called Switchblades.
Moving on.
That's almost worse than a mobile game for the Switch.
Yeah.
By the way, hey, Jason, don't edit that silence out. That's required for the joke, because I was staring at Randy very angrily that whole time. Okay. Fallout 76 expansion coming. It's called
Cheer again, Chris.
The Wastelanders. They're adding NPCs and a main quest line and choices to Fallout.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, all those things that made Fallout a great game
And
before.
they came out there and they're like, this is our year 2 plan. Like from the beginning, they're acting like this was their fucking
this was the
intention.
plan all along.
And everybody's cheering. The only thing we're cheering at this entire thing was that fucking adorable girl that was showing Ghostwire.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And yet
That's
everybody
next.
is like losing their minds in Fallout 76 being like, they added characters.
Yeah.
What?
For the first time ever in Fallout 76,
A story.
gameplay,
Yeah, like what the
things
fuck?
to do.
Oh, and also, yeah, I forgot about the
Yes, there's a battle royale mode coming called Nuclear Winter. Or it's
That you-
out now, which
that
is
you're
why
gonna
I'm
try when you get home.
because I'm an idiot. idiot. We've been okay.
52
Running the
players.
theme of hot button. I'm an idiot. I'll buy anything because I'm stupid.
I like that you wrote in your outline, what is wrong with this crowd?
There's a lot of that in here.
Yeah. Some
Next up,
editorializing.
we have Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a Shinji Mikami game from Tango Gameworks, the people responsible for the Evil Within.
Yeah, the Evil Within games.
Yeah.
Which I was not a huge fan of, but
No,
number
I
one,
didn't like
the
Evil
chick that
Within.
presented it, the game director, I think she was adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's.
she was
I want to give her all my money.
I know.
Even
I just want her to be
And
happy.
you found she was the art director for like
Okami.
Clover back in the day. Like she did
Yep,
Okami, which
Okami.
is their beautiful games.
Yes.
Yeah, Even Within, a lot of people liked it. I didn't like it either. It's
Yeah.
Evil
wasn't
Within.
for me.
So
but a
here's
ton
the-
of people love that
I played
game.
both Evil Withins, and I'm not a huge fan, but I really liked what they're going for. Like
Yeah.
they have some crazy imagery. The second one was really ambitious in certain ways. Like I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so like I wanted that to be like it. Those games have almost too many ideas. I wish they would be a little more focused.
Yeah.
But they're trying something. and
This
that's,
game,
Yeah.
like,
the
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo
yeah, it's a
looks
cool
really cool.
premise.
CGI
Neat
trailer, so
setup.
we'll see what the game is actually like. Apparently, it's an action survival horror game like Evil Within. So,
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what that is.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know more.
next up we have Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere.
Spell that for me.
Spelled like the place in
ELSWEYR. Yeah.
what'd you call it? Tam Riel or
No,
whatever.
he said Cyrodiil.
Cyrodiil.
Did you write? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, my only note here is I don't know what's happening because I didn't, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore. There's an MMO. If you're playing it, you're already playing it. If not, you're going to play a different MMO. So who gives a shit?
That's perfect.
Yeah. Next up, we have that same studio is apparently making a Commander Keen phone game.
That's the fucking weird.
Hey, do you remember how little everyone on Earth cared about this?
Commander Keen, the game that it made before.
And they
Fucking-
made such a big deal out of this.
They did. It was so weird.
It's it's almost sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a little strange.
Okay.
Hit after hit, Austin.
Next up, we have. Oh, I think I wrote coming this year. I don't think the phone game actually got a date. Next up, we have
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls Legends. My only note here is, what if Hearthstone wasn't as good? And then I said Elsewhere expansion coming, and then I said, please don't make me spell that again in my notes.
What is Elder Scrolls Legends? I don't even know what that is.
It's a card
It's a
game.
card game.
Oh.
That's why I wrote, what if Hearthstone wasn't as good?
Oh, for some reason I was thinking Hearthstone as in one of the expansions for Skyrim, Hearthfire or something.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
starting
know.
to fall asleep by this point.
Then Rage 2. They did a fucking
Which-
Too Many Cooks fucking parody. I hate
Also-
it.
Which is already a parody, but also, yeah, you mentioned
Yeah.
you wrote something in here about the attitude of this game. I hate it too because it's so fucking disingenuous. Now
Yeah.
that game is out, we know what the tone of it is, and it's not what their advertising is.
No.
Like some of their advertising, like when they presented this game last year with Andrew WK, it looked really fun and silly and wacky and bright, and then the game comes out and it's very dull and
Yeah.
does not have any of that whimsy.
Which is funny because
Which is fine, but they didn't
we're about
advertise
to
it
get
that
to
way.
two
Like,
fucking games that have that
that have
attitude.
that exactly.
They
yeah.
nail it.
Yeah.
Also, I was always thought this was a strange way of promoting it because the first one,
That Walmart League controller is pretty funny.
the first one, excuse me, was not anything
No,
like that.
not at all.
And I remember
Yeah.
being like, "What in the fuck
What did they
happened
do?
to this game?"
It was like a last minute attempt at like something a focus group said.
Why
to
did they
get
even
the-
get a sequel? No offense, like the first one I could care less about, and I don't think.
Well,
I
I'll
think
tell
it
you
was-
what, the second one people could care less about it.
I think it
either.
was very middle of the pack.
Yeah.
So apparently the second one is too. There's DLC that is out now. Who cares? Next up, we have id Software on the stage
Yeah!
finally to talk
All
about
the good
their
shit.
two Wolfenstein
Save the
games. The
day.
first of which is Wolfenstein Cyberpilot.
I don't
It's
know
a-
much about
Yeah,
this.
Wolfenstein Cyberpunk 2077.
It's a VR game.
Is that PSVR or?
I don't know. It's coming in July. I've heard mixed things about it.
But I have
Apparently,
heard good things about the next one. So
The next one is
Yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is it's the old blood version of Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
It's why it's called Youngblood. It's about BJ's two twin
Twin
daughters
daughters.
trying to find him because he's apparently lost.
Takes place in the 80s.
It takes place in the 80s.
The trailer has Carpenter Brute in it.
Yes, I am all about this game. Me and Randy are going to co-op it.
And apparently it's fucking great. Everybody that played it said that the writing is great.
The writing is phenomenal.
Apparently, like, the combat with two people, it kind of
It looks
fixed
a
a lot
bit-
of the problems around difficulty. This
It looks
last
a
game.
bit Doomish too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like with the speed. Like
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
played either Old Blood.
you should. They're great.
No. I beat them both. I never
okay.
played them like that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
are you supposed to play them like run and gun style?
I
Yes.
did
Because I
played-
kind of played them like march down the line shooter every time. Like,
Yeah.
I never hit or looked down sights in those games ever.
Oh, no,
I just
I-
ran through, being like,
it depends. Sometimes I would do it like run through, like, but most of the time I spent that game like walk, shoot, aim down sights, keep distance, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
They're
wanted to get
incredible.
all
I
up in
love
there.
both those fucking Wolfenstein
Yeah, they're
games. I
fucking
love.
great.
I have them both.
I'm very
They're
excited.
incredible.
And
Yes.
it's $30.
I
so,
can't wait.
yeah.
It's going to be dope. It's coming out in July 26th.
They were
Yeah,
refreshing,
26th.
like I just said about being tired of open worlds. Like they were really refreshing to just play like a rail
Yes,
shooter.
yeah.
That was like just good.
Just very
It
directed
reminded
and
me of
controlled.
why
It was good.
Call of Duty once used to be a good franchise in my
Yeah.
eyes, because those story modes, those rail
I
shooting
agree.
story modes, were always so much fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have the people from Arcane coming out.
This looked interesting.
They're making a game called Deathloop, which
don't-
is
yeah.
these are the Dishonored people. If you don't know who Arcane is, by the way.
Some of my favorite, besides Dark Souls and I guess some
Like,
other one. This is one of my
Worlds.
favorite art designs.
Oh,
is
yes.
Dishonored.
Very gothy and
Yeah,
Yes,
that
it's very
Victorian
cool.
Gothic
Susan
Dishonored art
Sarandon was
style.
in it.
yeah.
These are two assassins whose only goal in life is to kill each other, but they're stuck in a time loop.
Did it specify if this was single player or 1v1?
No,
or-
they didn't say
yeah,
anything.
If you're playing both? I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know what this game is, but that trailer had style for days,
It did. It
and
looked really cool.
I can't wait to learn more. I'll say that. I don't
Again,
know.
that's things like this are what I come to E3 for.
Yes.
Like, it's just to
Yeah,
be like,
what
what
is
is
this?
this?
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
was
exactly.
very cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we have
This part.
Orion, which is a set of streaming technologies. They claim it's going to make any game engine on the market stream games 20% faster and at a lower bandwidth. It works with Stadia, it works with xCloud, and it works with any other streaming services.
So why do we care? Why
I
not
don't know.
keep
Yeah,
this-
I'm not really
keep this-
sure what they're
Sell this as
advertising.
proprietary technology to Google and Xbox
This
if it's
was
that
the
good.
type of
The
thing you would
Giant Bomb-
see at CES, like not like an E3. It was
Giant Bomb
weird.
people made a good point when they were watching it, which Vinny said, like, these people probably worked very hard on this,
Yeah.
and
Oh, I'm sure.
and like it's going to make Stadia better, but nobody's going to care. So he's like, I'll sit through 5 minutes of boring stuff if they
All
get their
right.
time a day.
All right, that's
Which is
fair.
like,
That's
yeah,
fair.
they get
All right,
their
I like
15
that,
minutes
yeah.
or whatever.
They're
Sure,
just
sure.
devs on stage
Yeah.
trying to.
Yeah,
promote
none
some
of us
new
are
tech.
giving praise to the guy who made the fucking processors in the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
But like that is still like some engineer out there,
Yeah,
who
that's
did
fair.
a lot of hard
Yeah.
work.
Somebody smarter than me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I use that as an example, but you
That's
go.
a bad
Yeah, colossal failures.
Um,
well,
and
not the
then-
PS3, but just the cell.
and then the thing that we're all here for, Doom Eternal.
yeah,
Game is coming out November 26th, 29 or November 22nd, sorry, 2019.
I'm happy about that.
I thought it
Hopefully
would be
Game
earlier,
Pass.
but not Game Pass, no. There's a collector's edition with a Doom helmet and a cassette,
oh, they're
which
speaking
is
to
right
me.
up in Randy's alley.
Yeah, has the soundtrack up to 2016 on one side.
There's
the Eternal
not much
soundtrack
to
on the
say
other.
about this, really. If you haven't played Doom, fucking play
it. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
It's fucking
Have
great.
you played Doom?
No, but it's
Oh
on
my
Game
God,
Pass.
play it.
Play it.
Yes,
It is
please
on Game
play
Pass.
it. It is so good.
It plays like a dream, and
You
apparently
talked
this one,
about
like,
Wolfenstein being fast. Holy shit, Doom is fast.
Doom is
Yeah,
like
it looks like a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
Doom is
Yeah.
like a game you need eye drops for. It's
Yeah.
it's like it literally just like blows you back, and and apparently the new one has all these added mobility options, and it's somehow even faster and more
People are
frantic.
saying
and,
that this game is phenomenal, and I
Yeah.
believe it. And
Yeah,
I
It looks
can't,
really fucking cool.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to play it. That's
Already
pretty much
sold.
all I have to say. They
Yeah.
announced a new multiplayer mode called Battle Mode, and again,
reminds me of that zombie.
they had the Doom guys on the Giant Bomb Late Show.
Yes,
I don't
they
know if
did.
you watched
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
He basically admitted that like they outsourced Doom 1's multiplayer mode, and they were all very disappointed in it. And he said this one was developed in house, and it was made to fix all the problems that they had with Doom's multiplayer.
Oh, we already know we're getting it. We'll see what it is.
Yeah, sure. I'm buying the game regardless, so whatever. And that caps off Bethesda's conference.
Yeah.
There.
Hold for thunderous applause.
Yes, we're now on to Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. This was Monday. This was the next day.
Yes, this was the next day. This was Monday.
Let's kick it off with a leak.
Yeah, so this game leaked before E3, Watch Dogs Legions.
Yes.
Which is the third Watch Dogs game, not called Watch Dogs 3. Takes place in London.
I kind of wish they just called it 3.
And this one has no protagonist.
Watch 3 or
Dogs 3.
Dogs 3.
Dogs 3.
Despite the fact that there's no dogs in this game, which I'm very disappointed about, because 2 had a lot of dogs. You could pet them.
That's cool.
And shoot them.
Did you hear their reasoning for why?
Oh, yeah, because they're like, people would want to control the dogs.
Yeah, they're like, we wanted every NPC in the game to be controllable, but we didn't want to make you control dogs. So
That's the stupidest
everybody's
thing.
just like, no, let me control the dogs. I want to control the dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's no protagonist in this game. You play as DedSec, and you're basically recruiting
That's a cool
new
idea.
NPCs.
And London's a neat,
And every time you recruit an NPC, you assign them a class, and there's like hackers and brawlers, and
That old lady footage was pretty funny.
yeah, you can control old ladies and punks and.
Yeah.
You're kind of like building an army through NPCs. I think this is one
I
of the
love the
better.
concept.
It's
Yeah.
not political.
Yeah, they did say that.
Even though they said Brexit on stage, and they talked about the rise of.
So I know.
They said it's not political?
Ubisoft has
said
a very-
that their games are not political, despite the fact that they own the Tom Clancy name, and
Ubisoft-
that's all he did was write political stories until he died.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, Watch Dogs being political would be the best thing for that game.
It already is political. It always was.
Oh, it's very much so political. The trailer opens with them talking about the rise of extremism in Europe. Does that sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay.
I know. So I
I
know.
live in Cyberpunk 2077.
I know, Chris. You've said Watch Dogs 1 was a disappointing game, but 2 was on the right track. 2
It was
a
very
game.
good.
Yeah, I actually liked Watch Dogs 1. I've talked about this before.
Oh, really? I thought you didn't.
Because
Okay.
I never knew what it was. I just...
Then you just went into it? I kind of wish I did that too.
I knew nothing
I
about
didn't
it. I
hate
played
Watch
it, and
Dogs
I was
1.
like, I like this game.
Yeah, I didn't hate Watch Dogs 1 at all. I just thought 2 was a more realized... Though 2
was way
totally
better.
was very different than what Legion looks like it's going
No,
for.
yeah, Legion looks very dark,
Yeah.
but it's not political. Okay.
No. Also not coming out this year, which people
Release,
thought.
yes,
but,
another one that we thought would come out this year, not. Release date March 6th, 2020. Just lump it in with the rest of the shit.
And
I
then
guess.
this was one of the more weird...
Yes. So then they played It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia music, and fucking Rob McElhenney or whatever came out on stage to talk about how he's making a show about game developers with Charlie Day, and it's called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, and it's about people developing the most popular MMO in the world, and it's an Apple TV exclusive.
What the fuck? Has there ever been a good television series about video games?
The Guild.
That's probably
That was on
the
YouTube.
closest.
That is probably the closest.
Yeah.
But I didn't watch the whole thing, but I
Code
liked...
Monkeys, remember that?
No. God, that show's terrible.
I know. All right.
Objection, Your Honor. The pixel art was pretty cool.
Does anybody have anything to add on this?
The TV show?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't watch TV.
Okay, moving
Me
on.
neither.
Yeah, get out of here so I can watch Hulu and go to bed.
Brawlhalla. They're adding Adventure Time characters to it.
A show that is now over.
Yeah.
Has been over. And I was
Whatever.
confused why Finn sounded like an adult, and that's because he is an adult now.
Yeah. Moving on. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It's another Ghost Recon game.
I am excited for this game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I
He
told
loved
you I loved
Wildlands.
Wildlands.
Yeah.
I
Well,
thought it was one of
whatever.
my favorite games.
I was excited
However,
for that dog
I
on
am
stage.
upset about the amount of celebrities being represented in video games. Stay out.
Yeah.
He's in it.
We don't want to hear your politics. We don't just stick to acting, okay? Stay out of our video games.
The Punisher's in it.
Yeah, John Bernthal's in it. He brought his dog, whose name was Bam Bam. And
Yeah.
the rest of the
Who's not in the game? The dog had nothing to do with
the
the
rest
game. I
of the
was very
conference.
disappointed.
The rest of the conference was just kind of like the rest of the thing I blacked out because there was a dog on stage. I was paying attention to that.
I will. Apparently, that was that's his dog. He is a big advocate for like dog rescues and especially like pit bulls. And it's just like in his contracts that he brings them where he goes
He was like
to
he was
normalize
a big advocate for like.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the stigma of pit bulls being very vicious.
She was very sweet.
Yeah,
she
she
just
was.
laid down on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so
Which is amazing. That is the most well-behaved dog I've ever seen.
she
How do
was
you?
very
There's
well
like a
trained.
crowd of like 1,000
Yeah.
screaming people. More than that.
Okay. Release date October 4th, 2019. There's a beta coming September 5th. The Terminator is also in this game.
Now this makes more sense.
The Predator was in the
Yes, because as Arnold Schwarzenegger movies go, they were already represented in Ghost Recon
Yeah.
Wildlands, which has a jungle in it. There's a Predator, and that Predator side mission that was free, very cool. Okay.
No, it sounded cool. I'm not trying to
You
harp
basically
on
literally
Wildlands,
like it's
but-
like, hey, there's some weird shit
but
happening in the jungle.
How do you
and
feel about the tone? Like, so the funny thing about Wildlands is Wildlands always rubbed me the wrong way. I think Alex from Drive Bob said the whole thing about how it's like this sounds like clear and present danger, but without the realization that like trying to police foreign drug like trade is bad.
Yeah.
So like
that but see, it's almost this weird satirical thing that happens in the game. Like if you listen to the side dialogue, they're almost like self-aware of what they're doing.
the game has like an America fuck yeah attitude, and
I don't think so.
I mean,
Not-
the advertising does.
Oh,
it's a bunch
for
of like
sure.
roided up dudes who are like, "Fuck yeah!" Like
That's
I
not,
don't
but
know.
that's not the vibe you get when you're playing the game.
All right,
like the
if
game
it's
is just
different.
like, there's drug lords, go kill them. It's not as deep as that.
It still sounds.
like
It still sounds like it's like point me in the direction of which foreign people to murder.
Yeah.
that is definitely not how the
Are
game
you
comes
fucking
off.
serious?
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
played it for like 100 hours.
All right, I'll have to
That-
take your word. In that case, some marketing person should be fired because that game looks like the most racist thing like Wildlands does. The
Yeah.
sequel is a fake place apparently, and way more sci-fi. So I don't know how much further
Yeah,
they're going
because
to
it's
get
all
away
about
from
drones and shit,
real
which is why the
politics.
Terminator is all that.
Yeah.
Literally, there is absolutely. I never got that fucking.
I
vibe.
trust your judgment.
Literally,
But,
played it for probably about 100 hours. Me and Phil, 100% of that game. I liked it. It was one of those experiences where
I very much so enjoyed my time with it.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
a good game.
It was one of those games where it's just like, oh, I enjoyed it because of my experience with it. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like,
It
I
is
never
also-
had a group of people to play that with consistently.
It
I
is also
probably would have enjoyed it.
very good at letting you tackle things the way
The
you
way
want
you
to.
want.
yes,
You can play it like a
precisely.
GTA and fly helicopters into people, or you can take
Yeah.
it very tactically, and it works
Okay.
well both ways.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe I paid more attention to the game than the actual thing,
The
so
narrative.
maybe there is some shit like
I-
that. But from what I got from the
I
narrative,
think it was more of the way it was
yeah.
presented, maybe not.
From what
about
I
the
got
game
more
itself.
from the narrative, it was more just like a straightforward, like there's a big bad guy and you gotta
Yeah.
kill him.
My
I did
problem
play
is-
the beta and it played
yeah.
fine. Like it
My
played great.
problem
That
is
wasn't my
like
problem.
the whole thing is like these guys make drugs and shit. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I like drugs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, me and Phil the whole time we're playing it, we kept going like, wait, why can't we just take over?
Next up, we had Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, a mobile
fuck
gotcha
off.
game. I signed up for early access. Moving on.
You forgot to say who's all in it.
It's got Division people, Siege people, Ghost Recon people, and Sam Fisher.
From Splinter Cell. That's your Splinter
Nobody
Cell
from
review.
Hawks or End War yet.
No. But the Tom Clancy thing is
Also,
open. Where's Dick Chavez?
Yeah, our friend Dave, if you're listening to this, Sean Connery is not in it. It is just the games, not the movies or the books. Moving on, Just Dance 2020. It's the 10th anniversary.
Tom Clancy's rolling over.
A bunch of pandas danced to Panic at the Disco. I blacked out for a minute.
God damn
It's
it.
still coming to Wii.
Yeah, what the fuck? I saw. Is that true?
Yeah, it's not,
Not even Wii
not
U?
Wii U, just the Wii.
my
It's
God.
also coming to
That's
Stadia,
really-
which is weird. A dancing game on Stadia.
Who cares? Those Just Dance games are trash.
yeah.
They're so
They're
bad.
actually called Dance now, by the way.
It's coming out in November.
Dance Central's a real dancing game.
For Honor has an in-game horror event coming out. My only note here is who cares,
Wait,
so we're going to move on.
was
from
that what that
Play
was?
For
Yes.
Honor.
Where was I? In the bathroom?
But probably.
I don't remember
For the
that.
16 people still playing For Honor.
Yeah. The rabbits were in there. I
Um,
missed that.
yeah, they were. Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is based on the zombie event. If anyone played Siege, that was a very, very cool
fun.
event.
Yeah, that was cool.
It is a 3-player co-op game using the Siege characters, releasing in early 2020.
I wish there was more players. But,
I want to know more.
Me too.
I'm not willing to pay $60 for a game that reuses models I already paid for.
Well, that was when that event came out. We were like, they built all these assets for this like temporary free thing, and then it's gone. Like that's weird.
Well,
and
that's why they made a game out of it.
Yeah.
I'll probably buy it though.
Yeah, me too.
Very cool. Very cool. Division 2, there's new seasonal content. You get to go to the National Zoo, something called Keenly College. You get to go to the Pentagon. You get to go to the beach. There's a Netflix movie. Jessica Chastain's in it. Jake Gyllenhaal's
my
in
boy.
it. Yeah.
I love
that
it.
Division movie they're making?
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
it's gonna be on
for
Netflix.
You played Division. How you feel about this?
I don't care.
Okay.
What's the story? What you played it for? The dollar flu?
Not type.
I played through the story and I got to the end game and I was like, oh, you just played the story again? Now I remember why I don't like games like this, and I uninstalled it.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see how that movie turns out. Who's the director? Do you know?
Yeah, I forget. Somebody that did something important.
All right, I'll look it up while you talk about the Uplay's shitty
important.
subscription service.
Okay. So next up, we announced Uplay Plus.
We got very angry at this.
Another subscription service, $14.99 a month. It's coming out in September. It's compatible with Stadia. And basically every Ubisoft game ever made, $14.99 a month, you get access to all of them, including the new ones that come out.
But, like, why would you subscribe to a service that only has a game from one fucking publisher?
I mean, Origin Access already exists.
Yeah, that's also stupid.
EA
I know.
Access already exists.
The Game Pass, what makes Game Pass so amazing is that it's not just Microsoft, it's fucking everybody Microsoft is partner with. The only thing that's shitty about this announcement is that it means that they're not going to be on Game Pass.
Ubisoft games won't be on Game Pass. Yeah,
like it's...
And they also won't be added to whatever Stadia's thing is because you need to buy this, and then it works with your Stadia somehow. I don't know. Roller Champions.
What do you care? You're not going to play anything from Ubisoft anyway.
Roller Champions is
you played this.
A 3v3.
I actually like Ubisoft. Usually they consistently have like the better conference, and I thought this one was weak.
It's a 3v3 competitive roller derby game. It's the alpha came out. I played it. It's not great. It looked cool, but then I played it. And then lastly, we have Gods and Monsters, which is apparently a Breath of the Wild-like game, but it's Greek and it's made by the Assassin's Creed team. And we know literally nothing about it. Nobody's been shown any gameplay, but it comes out February 25th, 2019.
I found the director of this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
It is David Leitch.
2020.
Who directed Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and most recently, it's Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, he's got some stuff under his belt.
Yeah, I told you he did important stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. He also worked on the first John Wick.
Yep. All right.
Which is
notoriously worse than the third one, I'm sure.
John Wick?
Yes.
No, the first one's the best one.
I know.
Moving on later in the day, we had Square Enix's conference.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a lot easier to blow through because there's a lot of remasters. But let's start off with the important... We're going to start it off probably with a discussion and end it with a discussion.
Okay.
Because we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
It looks like it plays like a better version of Final Fantasy 15. It's coming out March 3rd, 2019. 2020. The game looks beautiful and it sounds beautiful and I'm sure it'll be fun. I don't have a lot of reverence for Final Fantasy 7, but I'm just more endlessly confused by how much what the package of this fucking game is. Fun experiment last night. I was hanging out in Discord with a couple of our friends. Me and Dan, who will probably be on a future episode, were talking about Final Fantasy VII because he recently beat it. And
did he recently play through all of 7?
So he was like, yeah, Midgar, which this only takes place through the Midgar sections of the game. He's like, Midgar's not very long.
No.
And I was like...
On stage, they were like, we just kept making... We thought we'd break this out into its own thing.
So as an experiment, I played... Final Fantasy VII while I was talking to him on Steam.
Yeah.
I almost beat the Midgar section. It took me like 2.5 hours.
Holy shit, really?
So I don't know how they're going to flesh that out into a full $60 game, but apparently
they
they
say
are.
there's going to be a $60 game?
I don't know.
It's just called Final Fantasy VII Remake, but it doesn't say part 1, but
Yeah.
It has to be.
All right,
Yeah,
feelings?
I can't. Yeah. That game series is very important to me.
I love the steampunk look of that.
When I was a
world. It's
child,
neat.
these were the games that were like. Final Fantasy was the games that introduced me into the fact that games could be more than Mario side scroller
Yeah.
and
Wow.
top-down Zelda. So playing Final Fantasy made me feel smart, and it made me feel like I was doing something, and it made me feel like there was a world that could be bigger.
My game was Metal Gear Solid, which came out the same year. So
Yeah, which was what 98.
Oh god, yeah.
98.
Mine was
Yeah,
Ocarina
and
of Time.
Ocarina of Time
also
was
98.
well, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time was the same year. That did
Yeah.
the same thing, but
But
These-
but I also played a shitload of Final Fantasy.
yeah.
VII,
So
yeah.
like that. That being said, really cool and excited to see these brought to like the future. And brought to modern graphics and all this shit.
Like
But
Resident
I think
Evil and stuff like
Donkey
that. This
said
is a
it
game
best
that should be
in
remade.
that video I
but-
just watched, which is that people are gonna find out real quick if they start playing is how awful the
yeah.
Final Fantasy storylines are.
Oh, God, yeah.
because they
It's going to be hard to modernize that. I kept making jokes when we were hanging out with our friends on Tuesday if they were going to keep all the gay panic stuff in that game. Like, do you remember there's a point where you cross-dress?
Yeah,
and
Yes,
then-
I played it last night.
Okay.
It is a little gross.
Yeah.
But that's Japan for you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm all
Oh,
about
wait, you forgot-
I'm all about eco-terrorism though. Okay, so
I just think it's crazy that this game has been in development for so long. Apparently, people have wanted it for so long, and it's weird for them to come out on stage after they showed this off. I forget whatever previous thing, and it's still the same area, and there's like no implication of like what the future
what I
beyond this
feel like.
unfinished game is going to be. Like, imagine if there were people coming into this game who have not played through all of 7, and then the game just stops. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
here's
what
what
the
I
hell
think
is
Square
that?
Studios looks like. It's like 17 skeleton crew employees that come in every day and work maybe a couple hours a day on whatever random games they have doing. And then the rest of it's just like a guy sitting in the back counting all the money they make from the fucking online game.
Yeah, that's and the
Yep.
mobile game as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see what this is. I mean, like a game of this scale, they didn't want to do for years because it would like break the company. So I mean,
Yeah.
now it's fully voice acted and everything.
Yep.
And they got an $800 fucking special edition of a stupid action figure.
Play Arts apparently makes very nice action figures.
Yeah, I
But
bet.
whatever. Okay, we're going to move on, and we're going to probably go through this quickly. Again, stop me if I blow through something you want to talk about.
I mean, I'll
though
probably talk a little about the next one.
though I doubt it. Okay, yeah, the next one we're going to talk about. True. So, Life is Strange 2 trailer. A couple problems with this, and I'm sure Randy's going to talk
Yes,
about this
yeah.
too. But
Inappropriate to show a.
yeah, so so number one, that game is taking forever to come out. It's
Yeah.
episodic, but it's like 4 months between episodes, which is
ridiculous.
insane.
Yeah.
Number two, they showed streamers playing it, which is weird to me for a game like that
Infuriating.
because it's story based. So
Yeah.
like if somebody's watching a streamer play it, then they're not buying a copy of the
They're
game.
literally the people who are.
So why would you embrace streamers playing through your game? I don't know.
that's dumb.
Whatever.
And also you're showing a future there's spoilers straight up in the thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I hadn't played it.
He wants
yet
to wait till
because
they're
I'm
all out
waiting till
because
they're all
that
out,
makes
and
sense.
there were spoilers in that trailer.
Because
Yeah.
I played through that. I really liked that first game a whole lot, and I played the first episode of 2, and then it took 4 months for the second episode to come out, and I was just like, I don't remember what. Like, I'm just gonna wait. This is not a good way to absorb this story. And then they showed this trailer, and it's just like, hey, if you haven't played the other ones, we'll sum it up for you. Like, it's such a weird, and that game is already not apparently doing so well. So
Yeah.
like, what? It's a little bizarre. I don't know. We'll see what that full package ends up being. That it had a promising start. We'll see if it sticks its landing.
All right, let's blow through some of these.
Yeah, the rest of this one's.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered coming this winter.
I know people who really like that game.
Yeah, sure. Octopath Traveler's out on Steam now.
Yeah, which they announced previously.
They remastered Last Remnant. That's out now on Switch.
Sure.
Dragon Quest Builders 2, which is their Minecraft-like game, is coming out July 12th, and there's a demo at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Quest 11 is coming in the fall for Switch.
I'm dozing
That will
off.
come up again in Nintendo's
Oh,
conference.
yes, it will.
Square's Collective, which is their indie initiative, has 2 games coming out. One is called Circuit Superstars, which is a top-down racing game.
What?
It's a
This is
top-down
1984.
racing game. It looks like
Both of these games
looks
didn't
like
really
RC
look-
Pro-Am.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's coming out
comparison.
in 2020, and then Battalion 1944 Eastern Front which is a World War II competitive shooter that is out now in early access on Steam. It looks like a Call of Duty 2, but worse, and a decade and a half later, or whatever.
Weird.
Square Music is on Spotify now. Who cares?
It's also on 40 other services I've never heard of.
Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC is coming in this
capital
winter.
R, lowercase e.
I think I wrote that wrong. I think that was a joke.
No,
I was mad.
That is what it's.
Is it?
Yes.
Whatever.
No, it is capital mind.
Yeah. The
E is lowercase.
They do that shit. That's coming in the winter. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers expansion comes out July 2nd.
Or as Chris called it in our last episode, what did you say? It was like Angel something.
I don't know.
Angel Runner,
I have no
Death
idea.
Angel something.
Yeah.
For more on Final Fantasy 14, please listen to our.
Yes.
How many houses do you think they'll add?
to our
The
last
cinematic
episode.
trailer looks cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how many
it did look
houses
cool.
do you think they'll add?
Once again, we see another Dying Light 2 trailer. I think it was the same as the last
Which
trailer.
we were very confused about.
Yeah, apparently Warner Brothers published the first one. Square is publishing the second one.
I had
which is
no idea till that
very weird.
conference. Yeah, that was very strange.
We have Romancing Saga 3 Remaster and Saga Scarlet Brace Ambitions Remaster. I wrote Who Cares? I think that sums up my feelings. War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, which is another mobile game based off the gacha game they have, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And then I wrote, all these games are bleeding together. Please help. That's my note. Okay, and now we get to a game that we might talk about. Outriders, which is made by People Can Fly, who are the Bulletstorm people.
Yeah, who have another game that they're working on with the
Witch Flame or Witch Fire, whatever.
which I don't know what happened to that.
This looks kind of like a Destiny game. Like I told you and Phil, it looks like Destiny if the Destiny Halloween event was all year.
Yeah.
Kinda. They showed a bunch of guns. It was a video of a dude sitting in a studio who looked like he didn't want to be there. We don't really know much about the game. I'm interested, but we'll see more. It was a cool trailer. Summer 2020. Then we have Oninaki. I just wrote.
I would have forgotten this if you didn't write it down.
I just wrote Weeb Game, August 22nd, 2019. We have a Final Fantasy VIII Remaster, which is just an upgraded version of a PS1 game.
Very beloved.
That's
I know
coming,
a lot of people.
That's coming sometime in 2019.
Who were into that. Yeah.
And then lastly, and the thing
This
we
was
were
the
all
thing
waiting
everybody
for,
was waiting for.
Avengers.
Yeah. Which has been, the messaging around this game has been very muddled the last few days.
If you don't know, Avengers, made by Crystal Dynamics, the Tomb Raider folks.
Great games.
It is a 4-player multiplayer game where you pick one of the Avengers and play as them. It is apparently a live service game where they're going to be adding new missions and new heroes as time goes on.
But the demos that they showed to people were single player, which
Yes,
was
the
odd.
demos were them playing as one hero at a time, and apparently a lot of it looked very on rails, and a lot of it looked like had a lot of quick time events, which seems weird
that's-
for a game with multiplayer.
Yeah.
Also, yikes.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Events.
So this game
Yeah.
is the thing that's on the poster outside of E3, the huge giant banner on the convention center building. So like, and obviously Avengers being the hottest property in the world right now, you'd think that this would be
The talk of the town.
the talk of the town, but like the word around this game hasn't been negative, but has been overwhelmingly positive either. And Crystal Dynamics, great developer, but it's the things that they showed was they showed some story stuff. All the character models are like weirdly modeled after the actors, but not. And I don't know. And it wasn't really clear in, at least on stage, what kind of game it was.
Yeah.
They kind of just thought that the power of those characters would kind of speak for itself, but instead it ended up being a very fumbly sort of.
We can really speculate all day about what kind of game this is, but the truth is, they had the world in the palm of their hands. They're making an Avengers game, and everybody is upset now because they don't know what it is, and they message it as poorly as they possibly could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave a date.
They gave a date, May 20th, 2020, which is soon for considering they don't know what their game is.
Yeah, we'll still be following this game.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but like, it's just crazy to me that like we can run through this list and then be like, oh, like, and then there's like an Avengers game, I guess, and then like
Yeah.
move on, because it's just like it's just so weird. I don't know what that presentation was also like. It was this is the last thing for Square Enix. It was very, I don't know. I was expecting a little.
They spent like 15 minutes saying absolutely nothing
about the game. It was the most buzzwordy thing, and also like, I mean, Disney still has control of this, right? Like, so it's just weird that they would come out and then be like, we got fucking Thor and Captain America and Iron Man, and it's a game where you like defeat bad guys in order to like, you know, it was just really weird. It was just like, who's describing this game? Someone's dad? I
You
don't
should have
like,
put Iron Man in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Speaking of Disney, let's talk about the Disney of video game companies.
Yes, Nintendo. the Nintendo Direct, the last conference of the day.
No, this was the next day.
Sorry, yeah, the next day. The last conference of the lot, I should say.
Yeah, I think it's like they always time it so that once they have their Direct, then the show floor like opens.
Yeah, and we're gonna blow through a little bit of this too because there's a lot of Japanese games in here.
Yeah. Speaking of Japanese,
not that there's anything wrong with that if you like those.
Whoa.
Okay, the first thing was they announced that the hero from Dragon Quest is coming to Smash Brothers.
Yeah. It's hilarious that one of the announcements for Smash made me shrug my shoulders, and the other one made me like, yeah, like in the same fucking Direct.
Yeah, why not the slime from Dragon Quest? That should be.
The slime is in it. They had it in the video.
Oh, really?
Not as a character though. He's like
maybe he's
item,
or trophy, or I don't know.
Yeah,
he's in there.
That's coming out sometime this summer.
Some of the menu stuff with him looked kind of interesting.
Looks neat.
They have all the different ones
He's
from
like
the different Quest
spells
games.
he can cast or whatever, and you have to pick them from like a menu, like an RPG. It looks cool.
Which is about time an anime character with the sword made it into
Smash. Dragon Quest XI.
Because this was a tie-in right to that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like I said, this was already in Square's conference, and again, we're going to blow over it because I know that people out there like it, but I don't.
How do you feel about Guiji?
Coming out this fall for Switch. Yeah, next was Luigi's Mansion 3. It's got, you can slam people now. It's got Guiji in it, and it's got an 8-player mode.
At least they're making this game for Switch.
Yeah.
Unlike the last one.
Not like the DS one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people real horny out there for Guiji, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. This is coming sometime in 2019.
Yeah, no date, but they said it's this year.
Yeah, but it's this year.
Yeah,
but you know, whatever. Next we
this
have
was fucking weird.
The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, which is based on a Netflix show of the Dark Crystal, I think, because there was a Netflix logo.
I don't like the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
Why not? You got something against Jim Henson?
What is it about TV shows? Like,
it's a movie.
Sorry, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal.
Whatever. I'm just saying, like, at E3. I know Dark Crystal's a movie. I've seen it.
Oh, because just like the third console generation, E3's becoming a multimedia platform.
Yeah. That's coming sometime in 2019.
Sorry, I'm in like 10th, whatever we're on.
Next up, we have the Link's Awakening remake.
Looks
That
great.
was so fucking
It
cool.
looks really cool.
We already knew about it.
Love the art style
yeah.
direction when I saw that the first
Two
time.
things.
Yeah.
One, apparently it's $60, which
That's a little.
insane.
That's a
Yeah.
little bit of a bummer. But that's the Nintendo. Fucking
Actually, you know what?
tax.
It might have been $60 when it came out for Game Boy.
I think it's like 40 on Game Boy.
Yeah, who knows?
But it's a little.
I
and
like
apparently,
DX,
also
so-
apparently it's real framey. People have been
I
playing
heard that
it. They've
too.
been saying and they're
yeah,
some frame rate
maybe it's
problems,
just an
which-
early build. They don't have a lot of time to figure it
Hopefully
out.
they figure that out.
It might
They
be
don't
that,
have much
it might
time.
be that art style because I've seen frame rate issues with games that had that art style before.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't know.
Can't name
But
a
it looks
specific one,
neat.
but-
I
They
hope
got-
it's good.
They got some time to figure it out. Coming out September 20th, 2019.
I mean, also Breath of the Wild was framey and nobody cared.
That's true. Next up, we have Trials of Mana, which is a remake of a Trials game that never came out in the U.S. It's coming
Yeah.
out in early 2019.
And it comes with all the other ones too.
Do you mean
doesn't
like
it?
the motorcycle game and you just cast spells?
Yes, yeah. And then they announced Collection of Mana, which is
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and Trials of Mana. That was available
I
at
never
time of
played
announcement.
those games,
Next up, we have Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition coming to Switch.
That'll run great, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you're already playing it on Switch, make sure you know that your saves will carry over.
I mean,
I just had that
a
debacle.
mobile version of The Witcher is pretty. Witcher 3 is pretty incredible, but
The
like
Switch
how
version only runs Gwent. That's how they did. That's how they put it all.
Apparently, it runs at 540p. So
is that how they did it?
Yep,
what does
that's
that look
how
like
they
on a
did.
TV?
Probably no. It runs at 540p handheld, 720p docked. So
I mean, that game struggled on a PS4.
it's gonna look like shit on my 4K TV. Not that I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Three Houses. I don't know how Chris feels about Fire Emblem. I know me and Randy don't really give.
I know,
much of a
but
shit.
there are so many people that are.
Yeah, but even the people I know who are into Fire Emblem were disappointed in the last couple entries.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard that too.
I don't think I've ever played a Fire Emblem.
I
game.
have not really either. I'm just trying not to publicly discredit.
Not a fan of strategy games, but if you're into that, you can go watch a trailer, and it is coming out July 26th, 2019.
Yeah,
Oh, I
we'll see.
have played
Yeah,
Fire Emblem, I think, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I get why people play them. I just wish Intelligent Systems would
No
make another
strategy
Advance
game will ever
Wars.
be
Yeah.
as good as XCOM. It's the greatest strategy game of all time.
No, it's not.
Words.
Yeah, I can roll dice too to decide whether or not people get.
The best strategy game of all time is
Command and Conquer.
no. Never mind. I forgot what I was. There was a joke there. I forgot it.
Is it gone?
This has been a long
You
podcast.
talking about Star?
Maybe? I don't know.
What?
Speaking of stars,
That's another
That was a good segue.
That's a good segue,
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
Resident Evil 5 and 6 are coming to Switch.
one of those games is good, and it's not Resident Evil 5.
6 isn't good either.
I like 6.
Whatever.
It's I found that
You
more
hear
It's
that?
better than 5.
You hear that? People who may or may not want to play XCOM, the guy who said it's not good likes Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 and 6 are still. I mean, those are still the worst Resident Evil games after they just got the remake and 4 on Switch and stuff like that.
Fall 2019, if you haven't already played those because they've been on every platform.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
Coming 2020.
Maybe I'll actually get the game I wanted this time after that
last one was terrible.
Yeah.
Or not No More Heroes 2, the top-down one that came out on Switch
What
recently.
the fuck was Travis Strikes Again?
Travis Strikes Again.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope a proper
not much to
sequel
say
is
about that
actually-
CGI trailer. Look it up if you're interested. Coming out in 2020.
Yeah. we'll
Next,
see
we
more.
have an isometric 4-player shooter called Contra Rogue Core. It's a Contra game.
That did not.
It looked really bad.
Yeah.
September 24th, 2019.
There'll be a game called Contra Fallen Order coming out in a couple years with the characters from Contra Rogue Core that they don't develop fully.
Yeah, they also released a Contra collection, which was available at time of announcement.
It's got hardcore in
on
there.
Switch. Yep. Demon X Machina. I
love
keep saying
that title,
Damon.
yeah.
Demon X Machina is a mech game with bad music. That's what I read.
I didn't get to play
got,
that
like, butt
demo,
rock in
but
it.
people seem to like it.
People seemed
It looks
interested in
fun,
it. It
yeah.
looks cool. It looks very Japanese. If you're into that, I am not. It's coming September 13th, 2019.
Yeah, it's this year.
There's a Panzer Dragoon reboot in the works.
Yeah, that was weird.
Which is coming winter.
I liked Panzer Dragoon Orta. Was that the Xbox?
Yeah, that was the Xbox
Yeah,
one.
I played that one.
That's coming winter
That was a
2019.
Dreamcast.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah,
it's
the
no,
first
it's
one was
Sega.
No, the first one was
CD.
Dreamcast. Was it Sega? Oh,
Sega
was it?
Saturn. Sega Saturn.
Sega Saturn.
The aorta? Is that the heart muscle? What's it called?
You did the Sega episode.
He's getting too tired. We gotta wrap it up.
Delirious.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it's better than their last attempt to reboot that franchise, Crimson Dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's Pokemon. They're big now.
Wait, I thought Sword and Shield was already out.
No, November 15th.
That's like Nintendo's big temple release for the fall.
Yeah, November
they had
15th,
they had a
2019.
whole direct dedicated to it.
Really? I thought it already. What the fuck? I thought
They,
it
Yeah,
was
do,
already
they
it's
do a
out.
got-
Pokemon game every like 2 weeks.
Well,
Keep
yeah,
track.
but I thought there was one already out. What just came out?
Let's
Let's
Go
Go
Eevee
Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Oh,
that was like last
and
year,
Detective
wasn't it?
Pikachu. Did I
that
confuse
was the
the
movie.
movie Detective
I think you
Pikachu?
probably
Yeah.
did.
It's
Other than Detective Pikachu, it's been the same game for 20
it's Pokemon. It's got a free look camera now instead of being top down.
Are people upset about the amount of Pokemon in it or something?
Yeah, they apparently limited the amount of Pokemon they added to this game so they could work on better animations for the ones they added, and people are very mad about that.
There's like 1,000.
Grow up. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Or I think there's 800. I forget.
Yeah. But you know,
All right, hold on. I gotta set you guys up for a joke. If there's Pokemon Sword and Shield, you know how they had red, blue, and then
Pokemon
yellow?
Gun.
Well, I guess that's it.
Trident will be what it is, or spear.
That's a good guess.
Or scimitar.
I'm voting for gun, but
What's the thing with the ball on the chain?
a mace,
Mace?
or a flail.
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 Pokemon flail. There you go.
Wait, hold on. Pokemon. Damn, we gotta go riff all night, buddy.
Pokemon Naginta.
Pokemon bag of caltrops.
Yeah.
That's the things ninjas throw on the ground, so you step on them.
Pokemon Sea Mine.
All right.
Wait, hold on. I wish I knew the name, like some long, complicated missile or something. Like
Tomahawk missile.
Yeah.
Astral Chain, which was is a platinum game where you're like chained to enemies, and
I don't know.
I don't know.
Kind of has a neat look to it.
August 30th, 2019.
Anything to get out of making that Bayonetta sequel, I guess that they announced.
Empire of Sin, which is a top-down like XCOM but with mob people.
Gangsters.
Yeah.
It's made by Paradox. So I'm sure it'll be super dense, and I'll never play it.
But it's for those people for sure. If you like Paradox games, you'll probably like it. Spring 2020.
Yeah, why not?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Which apparently people played and said it's better than the the Avengers game.
Yeah. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. If you played Ultimate Alliance 2, it's, a top-down isometric beat-em-up featuring a lot of Marvel people.
Is it still a Switch exclusive?
I think so.
So
And
weird.
it's coming
insane.
It's coming July 19th, 2019.
Yeah.
So
All right.
then we have Cadence of Hyrule, which is the Crypt of the Necrodancer game with Zelda music and Zelda and Link in it.
I'm very excited to try this.
That came out today as we were recording this
shit.
because
Yeah,
that's
that was today.
June 13th,
Right.
2019. $25, which is a little much.
That's it.
But,
Yeah. It's a little bit.
whatever.
They got to put that Zelda tax on top of this.
And then next we have the announcement everybody's been waiting for: Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, which is coming in November of 2019, so not 2020.
I was
Yeah,
hoping.
spoilers.
I was hoping we'd have a joke.
You can skateboard in it.
They don't have
you
skateboarding in the Olympics.
You can beat.
As of 2020, they do. It'll be the first year.
Yep.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch the Olympics this year.
You can karate fight people. You can karate fight Peach against Dr. Eggman or whatever.
Is karate in the Olympics in 2020 as well?
Yeah, probably.
Is karate skateboarding in the
I
Olympics?
assume Sonic would do me no wrong, so
You're right.
yeah.
What country does he represent?
What?
It's the Olympics.
He's from Nebraska. He represents
Yeah,
America.
Nebraska.
Oh, right.
Remember that? All right.
Does Mario represent Italy or America?
Wow, racist.
He's from Brooklyn,
Sorry.
but he's Italian.
Yeah. Oh
But
wow.
racist.
One Mario
I
got
didn't
an
know I
Italian
was
guy's
podcasting
name.
with a bigot.
What?
All right.
I guess everybody's representing America at this Olympics.
Yeah.
Pasta, America.
Tails is from
It's
Ukraine.
one of my favorite jokes from Talladega. Is it Talladega Nights or?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't anything. Chinese food, China. Pizza, Italy.
All right, and then the game that everybody actually was waiting
Yeah, what
for,
everybody wanted to see.
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
They probably could have done with a little bit of a longer trailer for that.
So
thing.
this was weird because people watched it, got disappointed because the trailer was like 90 seconds long and it was delayed till 2020. By
got
the
a
way, it's
sharp
coming out March 20th,
look to
2020.
it. Yeah.
It looks
Care.
really cool.
Animal Crossing
It's-
can dissolve a bridge.
It's
Dude,
got
you're gonna
Now,
get
if
you're
it
gonna
was-
get thrown off that
If it
bridge.
was Animal Crossing Event Horizon, I'd play it.
it's got crafting in it now, and yeah, they
It only took them 30 years to add something to that game.
it doesn't look. They didn't show much, but then they had their Treehouse stream and they showed a lot. So if you're interested, look up the Treehouse
Is that where all the
stream.
characters that
I guess. I
yeah
don't
that
know. It's
conspiracy
got
weren't
8-player co-op in
in
it.
the trailer? What?
Yeah, you can invite 7 other friends to your island. You can all craft together.
You can invite 7 other friends to your interdimensional spaceship, but when it travels through space-time, it goes into Hell Realm. And then on the other side...
Whose eyeballs get ripped out.
I'm really excited for that crossover.
Speaking of crossovers... Oh, no. Sorry. I jumped the gun.
Just keep jumping the gun, man. We're falling apart. We gotta...
I know.
All right. Montage time. I'm gonna go through this real quick. Spyro Trilogy.
Which I'm surprised wasn't on there already.
Yeah.
Those are good remasters.
Hollow Knight DLC. Ni no Kuni remaster.
Makes sense.
Minecraft Dungeons is coming to Switch.
Cool.
Already said that. Elder Scrolls Blades coming to Switch. Already said that. My Friend Pedro.
Yeah. That game comes out in a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I'm
like
excited.
a week. Looks real cool. Doom Eternal coming to Switch.
Bad way to probably play an amazing game. But
The Sinking City, which I don't know what that is.
we saw that before. It actually looked kind of neat, but I don't know what it is.
It keeps getting shown in montages, so I don't know what it is.
I know, yeah.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Oh, that's actually coming, yeah. They'll
Dead-
day and date it this time, unlike the last one on
Dead
Switch.
by Daylight is coming to Switch. Bad game. Alien Isolation
That's
is
a
coming to Switch.
weird one? Yeah. Cool. That's, I like that game a
Final
lot.
Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, we already said that. Dragon Quest Builders 2, we already said that. The Stranger Things game was in the montage.
Yeah, which is funny to me that they showed that Dark Crystal game and the Stranger Things game, but Netflix isn't on Switch.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
is that Stranger Things game coming to everything, I assume?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I
Whatever.
have here written here
Comes out the same
Just
day.
Dance 2020.
Yeah! I'm more interested in
An
that.
extra 2. Just Dance
Just Dance
2020.
2077.
Catan is
That's
coming to the
great
Switch.
to have a mobile Switch version of Katana. Catan rules.
Super Lucky's Tale, the Microsoft
Which,
platformer.
that was weird too.
Dauntless is coming to Switch.
I
Which
assume
is
it'll
very
have crossplay
cool.
with everything. else.
Crossplay, cross save. Very cool. Super Mario Maker 2 was in the montage, which is weird for a game they
Yeah.
published, but sure.
I mean, I guess it's coming out soon, but I still thought it would have more of a presence
Yeah.
in direct than that.
And then now make
Breath of the
now you
Wild.
make your joke about mashups.
I was gonna say we should do the Breath of the Wild. We want to do that first.
No, that was the last one.
Oh, okay.
He's doing them chronologically.
Oh, you're doing it chronological.
Yeah.
Okay then.
So then another Smash trailer.
I love this bait and switch trailer with
Yeah.
Duck Hunt Dog. It's
Yeah,
so
no,
good.
that's
We
awesome.
have
Duck is freaking out.
Banjo and Kazooie.
He looks awesm. Like that moveset looks.
She.
Yes, sorry.
The bird is a
They
girl.
they look great. Yeah. The bird is a girl. He's right. She has lipstick on, I think, in the redesign of the nuts and bolts or whatever. But that Banjo-Kazooie looks like a lot of fun. I love the new the
I can't
highly
wait.
rendered new
I wish
look
this
and
was
stuff.
the next one, and then a more interesting character than the Dragon Quest one was after.
I know,
what are
but
you gonna do?
now this means that anything is possible. They got Smash Brothers is a fucking characters represented from Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, Square, Namco,
Microsoft.
now Microsoft, Atlas.
Yep.
It's like the ultimate battle game.
I know,
yeah.
it's just fucking
Yeah, it's
bananas.
crazy.
It really is.
Not much
Never
to say
ceases
about
to
this.
amaze.
I wish it was
He's in
coming
the
out
season
sooner.
pass. Like they gave a date.
Yeah, it's in the
or
Fighters Pass. It's fall 2019.
fall. Yeah, all right, they didn't give a specific date.
They did not give a specific date. And then
We'll see who
what
else
Chris
is
was
in that
hinting
pack.
at before, they showed a very short trailer with Zelda and Link from Breath of the Wild walking through a dungeon and stumbling on what looks like Ganondorf's mummified corpse.
Yeah.
And then it just says on
Spoilers.
screen in very boring font, Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild sequel is currently in
That
development.
seemed very last minute added on.
I am super excited for a Breath of the Wild sequel.
The
but
implication seems
show
like
me more. Eh.
it's going to be a Majora's Mask type situation.
Yeah, that's cool. I like Majora's Mask.
No, I did too. But like the part of the reason I think that a lot of people get very excited for Zelda's or the Legend of Zelda games is because they're broken up over a long period of time and they always have a radically new art direction and designs and world each time. So it's like it feels
But Majora's Mask was
Breath of the Wild's a very
equal
beloved
to
game.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's bold.
I actually said it was better the last time we talked
Wow.
about it.
Listen, I
On
actually,
this podcast.
I'm a defender of Majora's Mask, but I'm just saying like the impact doesn't feel as huge here.
No, it's not.
considering-
But it's also just like gameplay wise, so much better than I could. Like I don't know, not so much better. It's just got some interesting gameplay mechanics, and it definitely
You're
is
lucky
like
I'm tired or I'd attack you.
it's an incredible follow up, and I'm
we'll see
excited
if
for
that
something
Breath of the Wild
caliber.
sequel uses the same world and the same mechanics. I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
some
I'm
stuff.
sure they'll add to it.
Yeah,
But yeah, nothing was going to have the impact that Breath of the Wild had. Whatever followed
No.
up.
that game blew fucking.
And yeah,
it out of the
that
water.
was the end of Nintendo's conference.
Mhm.
And
People-
then
people seem to- people
and
seem to have
now it's-
liked-
Now it's Thursday. Nintendo shut down, so all of those games are none of them are coming out.
People seem to have liked Nintendo's Direct a lot, but to me, it still felt pretty safe. Maybe just
it
because
was a
that
lot
was
of stuff
it was a lot of stuff we already
knew,
knew
a lot
about.
of remasters. And,
Yeah.
But,
Things I'm upset they didn't do. The Game Sphere. I'm sad they didn't announce their new console, the Game Sphere.
They did not show Metroid Prime 4 at all. I guess because
there
that
was
game
no
was getting
Labo. There
restarted.
was no Labo 2.
No
That was a little
Labo.
frustrating.
No Nintendo VR shit.
yeah, they didn't announce They still haven't brought up the vitality sensor, which I'm still really
Waiting
mad
on.
about. Yeah.
You see, you didn't redeem that.
I'm a little.
powder yet?
I am a little. What about E3? Did you guys wish there was? I'm sad they didn't announce Duke Nukem Forever. I was really hoping that one would have been announced.
if they didn't already do that, if Sony didn't already do that early reveal of Death Stranding, then that probably would have. I'm
You mean that game with the sick, long, extended ladder?
I'm super excited for that game. I need to know what it is. It looks just it's that.
If it's anything
yeah.
like the first 20 minutes of Metal Gear, you know.
I'm a
what's
Kojima
that
fan.
one?
I want to know what that is. I mean, it's weird because obviously, like Sony not being there at E3 still felt like we were just missing a chunk of it. Like because Last of Us 2 is the game that is the
I know, I would love
is
to
the
see
game that
more
I
of that.
want to see more of, and
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima game that they revealed last year looked really cool, and
There was a lot of games that we already knew about, and there were a lot of games. The games that we didn't know about ended either in very cool CGI trailers, like that time loop, death loop game or whatever, or ended in very boring presentations like Avengers. And
we should specify a couple things that there were some games that were not on stage that were at E3, like Control and Modern Warfare, that apparently are really doing something. Control looks phenomenal. That's the guy that's Remedy that made the Alan Wake and the Max Payne games. They did Quantum Break, and apparently that
That
Modern
game looks
Warfare.
really cool. We watched that. I
Yeah,
think, just separately
yeah.
talking
That
about
trailer's
that,
really
yeah.
neat, and the Modern Warfare thing, they're going for something. And then there were also some presentations we didn't talk about. We didn't talk about Devolver's fucking crazy thing that they do every year. The PC Game Show was going on it was Monday. Limited Run had a thing where they showed some of the stuff they're going to be doing, but yeah, overall this E3 was I mean they announced, was it today, that the dates for next year are confirmed. So the ESA did they are coming back next year. Odds are Sony will be back with their new console and Microsoft will be back with theirs. So E3 2020 is probably shaping up to be a little bit more exciting, but I still love E3. I like seeing all those people in the industry together in the same place, and
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool.
yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
It makes we talked about maybe doing a history of E3 episode. There's a bunch of cool stories.
for
A
sure.
bunch of crazy shit that's happened, including shit I left out of that Sega one where there's like apparently a fight between Sega and some other people at an old E3. There's just a bunch of weird shit.
And they had a Judges Week as well last week, so we'll see. At the time of this recording, we don't have the nominations yet, I guess, for their Game Critic Awards, their Best of Show stuff. So we'll see what that is, what games get nominated and presented. But I think that's it for today. But thank you for sticking with it. Yeah, I guess last thing, do you guys want to say what your Best of Show was?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Cyberpunk probably.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
probably wins.
Cyberpunk or
something
Doom
there.
Eternal.
I'd say
those are the
Cyberpunk-
games I want to play the most.
Cyberpunk's probably the game I'm most excited for out of all of those.
Yeah.
But probably, just like Austin said, Doom it was a cool presentation.
Yes. Yeah. It looked super fun.
You know?
And that's coming out this year. So.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you guys I guess it is. It is at the time of this. It is 12:30 in the morning. So
Yeah.
we will send this to Jason and get it out by tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm
And,
gonna go home and edit it.
And then we'll be back next Friday with another full episode.
Yeah.
So
Abridged plugs. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at HotButtonCast. Our website is hotbuttoncast.com. And you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, basically every podcast service. Rate us on iTunes, subscribe on all those. And we will be back next week with another informative episode. This was an experiment.
yeah,
See if we could just get away with talking about E3. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah.
go play some games.
Yep. Peace.